Melon Man, what's up? How are you? Welcome to the stream. I'm trying to get some stuff situated here. It's going well. It's going real well. Making sure that I got everything kind of situated here. Okay, that shows up there. Doesn't show up there. It's so weird to me that I can see YouTube chat there, but not anywhere else. Aha! Got 56 subs now. Congratulations. Congratulations. Alright, I'm just gonna have to pop this one out. Pop chat out. Kick. And then we'll just kind of see how everything else. Either it works or it doesn't. You know what I mean? Either it works or it does not. Why do I have? Whoa, whoa, whoa! What is all this? Okay. I don't know why these all popped up. Hold on, I gotta close these. I guess I was just clicking the. Do I need to see this? I don't think I need to see this at all, actually. Yeah, I can close that. We'll have this up, but I don't need to see that. What's that? 1 second. Sorry, I'm getting mad situated here, all over the place at the moment. That's ready to go. This chat, so I can see this. There's that chat, so I can see that. Goodness gracious, man! Why that was so difficult, I don't know. What will I do if I die in my world? Since it's a regular world, I won't do anything. I'll just continue playing. I'll probably be sad for 5 or 10 minutes, and then we'll go back to playing. If it were a hardcore world, then you know, maybe I'd do something a little different. But yeah, I don't care that much if I die, unless I lose a bunch of stuff. If it was hardcore, I'd be quite sad. But it's not hardcore, so I don't have to worry about it. Okay, there's the game. That was a little weird. But in the future, I do plan on starting another hardcore world. I don't know when that will be, but yeah, no, if that happens, then we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Wait, what am I doing here? Didn't mean to do that. I do have a hardcore world that I started a long time ago that I made content on, and yeah, maybe I'll go back to that world. I don't know. But as it currently stands, my plan is to play in this world and continue building and do that whole thing, you know? I don't know. It's all kind of up in the air. I still play on hard. So, where is it? Yeah, I still play on hard. So. Where were we? We were mining out one of these. Oh, this one right here. But now what I'm working on is trying to determine if I want to mine out the pillars entirely, or if I just want to stop at Y level 60. I guess I looked at him. Bad, bro. I'm running out of inventory, so we gotta go slide. We gotta go down here anyway. We gotta go down here anyways. Where is he? Where, dude? Get this over with. I got 2 of them. Anybody else? I didn't think so. That's full. This one is not full. Those are full. Alright, cool. There are pillars underground too. Yeah, I don't know if I want to mine them all the way out. What's my favorite biome? Oh, that's a great question. Probably cherry blossom. Probably. Yeah. The flower forest one, whatever that one's called, is pretty dope too. So yeah, I don't know. That's kind of hard to. There are ads. No. Hopefully it doesn't. I don't have any. I have no control over that. Those are auto ads because my channel's monetized. Well, I guess I do have some control over it. I just don't think I can turn them off. I know that I can place. I can do. Like I can control it myself, or I can let YouTube control it, which I let YouTube do that. So I don't know how often they play ads. If I'm being honest with you, I have zero idea how often those get played. Does it give me ad revenue? Yeah, if it's not a lot. I mean, my channel isn't that big, so, but yes, I do get ad revenue. I just don't know. I can go in and look, and there hasn't been a stream in probably the past 10 that I've done that has made me any money. So I genuinely don't know how the ad revenue works on live streams. I know how it works with videos because I don't know. I can see I have more views on videos, so I can actually tell like when that works. But with streams, I have no idea how often that works. So what sub number did I get it at? It's a great question. I have no idea. I genuinely have no clue because you have to have 1,000 subscribers at least. And it's more about the watch time. It's the watch time that is like the most difficult to get, if that makes any sense. So I had 1,000 subscribers before I got the watch time. And so after that, I wasn't paying attention to subscribers. I was paying attention to watch time because that's honestly what's the most important. So yeah, so I genuinely have no clue. It may have been, I think it was like 15 or 1700, something like that, but I don't remember. That was what, 6 or 7 months ago at this point. So I don't remember. I've slept quite a bit since then. It's hard to get people to click on your video. I mean, yeah, you have to have a good, thumbnail. You have to have a great, am I recording? I am. You have to have a great title. But it's all part of it, It's all a process, and then obviously you have to have a really good video on top of that. So like, let's say you had a click-through rate of like 20%, but people are only watching 30 seconds. Does it matter if people click on the video? You know what I mean? So I don't know. For me, I think it's a wombo combo of all of it. You should be you should be focusing on all aspects of YouTube, but also don't beat yourself up over it. Like, I think also if you're streaming, you should be streaming if you can. You can't stream, then I get it, but it's one of those things where it's like you should be utilizing every opportunity that you can. So streaming on YouTube, making content on YouTube, streaming on Twitch or TikTok and Kick, like multi-streaming. If you have the time and if this is something that you really want to try and make work, I think is the best option. But if you're not into that and you're just making content because you love it, then stick with YouTube and focus on YouTube, but you're doing yourself a disservice. What I would say is don't just stream to stream, because if you're not making content like videos and stuff, then streaming is not going to be, not that you can't do it, you can, it's just way more difficult, and you have to have like a massive stroke of luck, in my opinion, to make streaming work without making content in some other form. It all ties back to each other, from my experience. But then again, I'm not some kind of like large booming channel, right? I am but a guy playing Minecraft, right? So I don't know. I guess at the end of the day, do you, boo boo? But that's why I stream on. That's why I multi-stream. I stream on YouTube. I stream. The only one I don't stream on is Twitch, because I don't like Twitch at all. I think they've done nothing but a disservice for most of their creators. And I also can't stand the fact that, like, I bet it's amazing as a creator if you have thousands of people watching, but when you get hit with an ad that lasts, I kid you not, like 5 minutes, not 10, but 5 minutes, it's like 11 straight ads back to back to back to back to back. Like, I can't do it. I don't want to watch. I don't want to be a part of it. As a viewer, it's a horrible experience, and I'm not going to buy whatever it's called, what's Twitch Prime or whatever it is. I ain't doing that. I don't know if subbing to the channel helps. I don't think that helps. I think you actually have to have Twitch Prime. Or is it Amazon Prime? Is it Amazon Prime? I don't know what it is. I know that little about Twitch. But maybe I'm missing an opportunity there. Maybe I should be. I don't know. I don't freaking know, dog. I just kind of do my thing. I also don't even look at the viewer count. I don't want to. If there's one person watching, that is obviously you want more viewers. But from my experience and the way that I am and the way that my brain works, like, I beat myself up if I have. But there's not like a whole lot more I can do, right? I can't force somebody to watch, and so I turn off the viewer count so I don't have to look at it. I don't feel like beating myself up over it. Now, people may make a comment, and if someone does, then whatever. But I'm not going to go out of my way to be like, oh yeah, I got, 3 people in here, or whoa, I got 100 people in here. It's kind of like whatever. If someone wants to watch, bet. Welcome to the stream. If you want to chat with me, fantastic, because I try to be as interactive as I can. But at the same time, maybe it'd be different if I was like this massive creator, and maybe then I would pay more attention to that, because that would it would be a metric that I would want to keep track of, simply because it would be a metric that helps me determine, like, am I going to be able to pay my bills this month and stuff like that. But I'm not at that place, so I'm going to let it happen as it happens, and then I make content outside of that to try and help get people in here who like to watch streams, you know what I mean? But right now my main focus is obviously my YouTube channel, just making the videos as I can. And then the next thing that I want to focus on is my streams on YouTube and my streams on Kick. And we'll just kind of see how that goes. I just got a text, I think. I sure did. Okay, I'll get it done. It's all good. All right. What inspired you to be a YouTuber? So I've always had this fascination with. I remember the first time I started watching YouTube videos. I didn't realize that it was random people making YouTube videos initially, because I was a kid. But in high school, I got Modern Warfare 3 when I was in high school, and I remember getting online for getting Xbox Live, and I hopped on Xbox Live, played Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, and got absolutely destroyed, and it made me really, really mad because I'm competitive. But I didn't know what I was doing. I was so confused. So I went onto YouTube and started looking up guides, and I found someone called, his name was Optic Predator. He was a sniper for Optic Gaming, and that was when I realized that, like, oh, these are normal everyday people who are recording their gameplay and making videos out of it on YouTube. And I guess before I continue the story, when I was younger, I wanted to be an actor. Like, there was something that I loved about entertaining, and also something that I loved about just storytelling. And so fast forward back to the whole YouTube thing. When I was watching Optic Predator, I was like, wow, this guy is insane. He's using a sniper, which at the time was, in my mind, one of the more difficult guns to use, because it was one shot. Like, you either hit your shot or you died, basically, right? And from there, I started watching a bunch of Optic Gaming content, realized that they were a gaming organization that people that were normal like me could join. And I became like a super fan of Optic Gaming. And from there, I was like, dude, I want to do this. And so I wanted to be a YouTuber ever since. I've eventually started making content on Call of Duty. And then found Minecraft around this. I mean, I found Minecraft around the same time that I found Call of Duty, but eventually fell in love with Minecraft and kind of how relaxing it can be, and decided that I'd start making content on that, and that's kind of it. You're a great shot. I'm horrible at it. So my competitive nature doesn't align with my ability as a gamer. So I'm way more competitive than I am skilled at video games, and so I chose Minecraft because I love the game, and two, because if something happens in Minecraft, I can't blame someone else. I can't be mad at someone else for being better than me at Minecraft, right? Because I play in a solo world. So if I die or do something dumb, it's on me. And so it's more relaxing. You know, I'm not as angry when I play. I am in much. I control my temper a whole lot more when I play Minecraft, and so that's basically how I fell in love with content creation. It was all because of Optic Gaming. That led into, you know, me following other content creators, Ethos Lab, B-Dubs, you know, Dream, and others as kind of the years have gone on. And so, yeah, and I don't know, I wanted to be, so I started making content before I started playing basketball, or well, around the same time, but my parents basically told me that they couldn't afford for me to go to college, so I stopped making content and started focusing on sports. And so, but when I was done playing competitive basketball in college, I was like, I still have this dream of being a YouTuber, and so I picked this up and have been trying to do that ever since, really. What's my favorite block in Minecraft? Oh, I don't know. Maybe Crying Obsidian? I just love the purple. The purple looks sick. But I love like spruce wood. I love the cherry blossom wood. I love the pale oak. I love dark oak. I like the different variations of colored like glass. I love, yeah, I don't know. I don't think I have a favorite block. But maybe the Crying Obsidian though, because I didn't realize this, but the Crying Obsidian, I didn't realize that it has little animation like droplets that come off of it. I didn't realize that until I started using it in one of my recent builds. And so that really kind of amped it up for me. I don't know, I like the black and the purple. I think it looks sick. But it's a little bit more pronounced in the Crying Obsidian than it is with the regular, you know what I mean? The crimson colors are dope. What's the other one called? The cyan, teal, bluish one. Warped logs, I love that. My favorite color though is blue, like light sky-ish blue. Any kind of variation of like lighter blues are my favorite colors. I do like traditional blue as well. And the only reason, actually, I don't know if it was ever really my favorite. It just bothered me that everyone loved red. And I just remember this in elementary school. Everyone's favorite color was like pink or red. And it just bothered me. I was like, why is everyone fanboying over red? That's crazy to me. And for me, I was like, nah, I got to be a little different. So I chose blue simply to be different. And then as I've gotten older, blue has genuinely become my favorite color. It started in like, I think it was like second grade. It was first grade. I don't know why I remember that, but I remember my teacher's name, Miss Roden. Roden? Yeah, it was Miss Roden. Miss Roden's first grade class, and everyone was talking about the color red, and I was like, you guys are weird for all liking red. I'm gonna be different, and so I don't want to be like you, and so I chose blue. So that's how I came up with my favorite color. You love Carolina blue? I don't know if I know what that looks like off the top of my head. In fact, I don't. You know what's really weird is that technically there's like infinite number of colors, even though we can't see them all. It's very similar to like numbers. Because you can always add like a little bit of white or a little bit of another color, and it will get just a little bit darker. You may not notice a difference, but it's going to get a little bit darker or a little bit lighter. So there's technically an infinite number of colors. Isn't that weird? A very light sky blue? Ooh, okay. I also like neon colors. I don't know why. I used to have a lava lamp as a kid, which that would be, I should have a lava lamp now, just for the heck of it. But I used to have a lava lamp, and I would sit there for like hours staring at it in like my back room of the house that I grew up in, just for no reason. Just staring at it. I don't... Is that weird? I feel like that's a little weird, but it looked cool, so whatever. Sorry, once I was checking my phone, making sure I didn't get a text. Boom, 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 boom. Someone the other day asked me what my favorite food is, and I still have not come up with anything. I don't think I have a favorite food. I think I just love food too much to have a favorite one. I'd be very sad. Well, I have died in lava in this world, and I lost all my stuff, and I didn't have my spawn set. But fortunately, my overworld base is probably 200 blocks away from my spawn point, so I try to stay near my spawn point unless I'm like in a wintry area. I hate winter areas. Okay, I don't hate them, they're just not my favorite biomes. I would prefer a different biome. I think I would almost choose a desert biome over a winter themed biome in Minecraft. I don't know if that's like a hot take or something like that, but I cannot stand winter biomes. Unless there's a massive mountain. If there's a massive mountain, I don't know what it is about mountains. I love the mountains. I also love I guess because I love the mountains in real life. I kind of hate I hate beaches. Like, okay, I don't hate them, but they're not like my favorite place to be. Like, it's just, I guess because the few times I've been to a beach, like I wake up in the morning and I go look at the water and I'm like, oh man, the sunrise is amazing. This is cool, great. But then I'm sandy and dirty. I'm hot and sweaty, and then like I'm staring at water. At least within the mountains, there's like you see birds and stuff and wildlife. You know what I mean? Yeah, I can't stand powdered snow. I know there's some kind of cool uses for it. I don't know how to use powdered snow, but I know there's cool uses for it. But dude, powdered snow is I hate it. It's up there with like Allays. Allays just make me mad. Cherry Blossom Mountains? Ah, yeah, yeah. Beautiful, right? It looks incredible. I absolutely stinking love it. I like the coral reefs. One of my favorite, I guess one of my favorite ones is like when you find a coral reef near like a deep, like warm ocean in Minecraft. Those are, I don't know, the warm ocean, the color of the water just makes me happy. It's such a beautiful color. I guess because it has that bluish green kind of, you know, cyanish color to it. I don't know, but it puts a smile on my face. It makes me really happy. You know what I mean? It makes me very happy. Do you watch NC's Minecraft, like his Hardcore World, like YouTube channel? Because I've been catching up on his videos. I'm like 3 or 4 videos behind, like his most recent post, and I'm not that detail oriented when it comes to builds and stuff. You've heard of him. One of the most chill Minecrafters I think I've ever had the pleasure of watching. And he's really, really good at storytelling and like world building in terms of like creating a story for his world. I've had just a pleasure watching him read. I'm not that good at storytelling. My goal is to get to that point, but on top of that, he is really, really good at using like Axiom and World Edit and putting together like blueprints for the builds that he does. I don't understand how people get that good at like blending stuff together, because my brain doesn't do that naturally. I have to work really, really hard to blend stuff together in Minecraft, and he's one of the guys that I kind of follow to try and, as I'm learning to become better at building, you know what I mean? My stuff is very like just really large builds and like kind of generic. Like my storage unit is the most detail oriented thing I think I've ever built in Minecraft, and that took so long. It was so hard for me to do that. I've seen the person that made Breath of the Wild in Minecraft. Oh, that's actually insane. I've never played the game, but I've seen like clips of that game. That is a beautifully made game. In terms of like the build of the world. But I've also heard that it's an incredible game. I don't have a Switch, so I can't actually play that, but that is on my list of things to buy someday, is get a Switch so I can play through Legend of Zelda games as well as play Mario games. Because I used to play Mario quite a bit with my cousin because he had Nintendo games all the time, and I just haven't had the opportunity to get to that. But really, there are so many talented people out there. You just got to tip your hat, you know what I mean? And one of my favorite things is like, obviously I love watching content creators, obviously, but I love when there's someone out there who's like, no, I just play Minecraft because I love the game, and they go out there and build something absolutely mind-boggling. Purely because that's what they want to do. I saw on Reddit a long time ago this guy who plays on mobile on his phone, and some of the things that he built, or she, I don't know if it's a he or she, whatever they built kind of dwarfs what I've built in my world. I don't know how long they've played in the world, but it was absolutely insane, you know? The Nether. Without question, it's the Nether. Now, I want them to update the end because I think the end has so much potential, but I mean, it's just barren. It's disgusting looking. Like I don't want to look at this all day. I don't want to look at a desert in a void area that like favors space. You know what I mean? It's so bare. And they did, I love that they updated it and added in cities and all that. That was cool, but they did that, I don't know how long ago, 10 years or whatever it is. Maybe not that long. But it's coming up on like 10 years, I think. And it's like they haven't done anything with it since. We've had, I don't know how many biomes added, how many new animals and new this, that, and the other. And it's like, after you get Elytra, what else is there to do in the end, basically? Alibite, what the heck is that like a different, is that a new kind of ore that they add? I mean, I don't know what I would add to the end, really. You have this massive open space that has so much potential, in my opinion, and they just haven't done anything with it. And so, I don't know, I'm not frustrated with Mojang or anything like that, because I can't imagine the amount of time and effort that goes into like building a world like this. Like I know it's probably on the back end from developers and whatnot. I imagine it's ridiculous the amount of work that goes into like updating a biome, creating a new biome. But it's like, come on, dog. We got frogs and stuff now. The Nether has had multiple updates from a graphic standpoint, and then adding in different types of woods and stuff like that. I don't know. I just think it would be really sick if you could survive solely in the end, like they did in the Nether. You know what I mean? Why's my music not? Hello? That? Okay. That was weird. Alright, we're good. I don't know. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. That's just me. That's me. I am but a random guy playing Minecraft. You know? I am but a random person on the internet. So my idea of what would make Minecraft better probably doesn't, I mean, genuinely does not matter. I would like to see some cooler bosses, I think, overall in the game. I don't know, like, I know power scaling and creep is something that you have to be very, very considerate of. I think with Minecraft, like, you don't, obviously they don't want things to be way too overpowered, which is kind of funny considering it's like it's a sandbox game, so it's like, do what you want with the game. If you don't want to use netherite or overpowered farms, then you don't have to. But it would be so sick if we had some gear upgrades that came through, like a storyline or quest that you had to play through, and you had to kill this insanely cool boss that had like multiple phases. That I know the Wither kind of has this, where like it doesn't take damage from, what is it, the sword initially or something like that. No, it takes sword damage, but like it's supposed to fly away, and then once you get to a certain point, it like attacks you up front, and so you have to use a sword, or it's better to use a sword. But like, I don't know, like, what if there was like it was immune to like bow and arrows, or like had multiple stages that it flipped through, so like you had to attack it melee initially, and then you had to switch to a bow, and then you had to switch to a crossbow, because the crossbow is trash in my opinion, so it forces you to use it. Like, it forces you to use these items, you know what I mean? I think there's just so much that I feel like they could do. But again, I you know, I'm not a developer, so I don't know like work from like a developing standpoint, like how much work would go into that. But I don't know. Again, it all comes back to like, I'm just a random guy who makes content on YouTube. I don't know, man. The game has been such an incredible game for so long. I want to see it do well forever, you know? That's just me. And maybe they'll make some changes like that, maybe they won't. I don't know. And since they switched back to like doing smaller, more often updates, I don't know if some of those bigger changes will be possible. I do like the caves and cliffs update. I thought that was sick. You know, can we do something like that in the end, right? Or maybe maybe they added a special other portal in the end that took you to the ancient city, but like what the ancient city looked like initially. You know? I don't know. I mean, there's so much I feel like they could do. It also just makes me mad that they added a portal frame in the ancient city, and then we're like, nah, you guys can't actually use it. Like, why are you going to tease us like that? You know we want that. Why would you do that to us? That hurts me on a personal level. Or maybe they added something like, if you complete all the advancements and all the achievements in the game, you unlock, you know, an Easter egg or something. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know, man. Like I said, I am but a guy playing Minecraft. Because I feel like they so far, I feel like they've catered mainly to builders, and I don't think that's inherently a bad thing. Like, obviously it's a block game, you want to add more blocks, you want variation in blocks, you want people to create cooler, better, more amazing builds. But from a adventure standpoint, which is what this game is meant to have, some level of adventure to it, I feel like they're just missing. They're just missing. Taking shots, and they're missing. Or maybe not even taking shots. I don't freaking know, man. But then again, there's mods, so it's like, can I really complain? And it's like, no, because you're choosing to play in vanilla. So it's also on me. Like, if you want something to change, add some other mods or something. I don't know, man. I am fascinated in like where Minecraft will be in 10 years. Like, what's it gonna look like? Is it going to be, you know, where we are today? No, but how much change is going to happen in the next 10 years? We just, when did the game fully release? 2011? So in 2031, year 20, what's going to happen? Better on Bedrock? Let me look this up. Wait, so I have to play on Bedrock? Or is it just called Better on Bedrock? Okay, it's just called Better on Bedrock. You can buy it. Oh, I see. So okay, so it's an add-on for Bedrock. I don't play on Bedrock. I play on Java, so that's why I don't have it. So yeah, that's the problem. Okay, that makes sense. Well, like I can't add that to this world because I don't play on I play on Java, not on Bedrock. Now I imagine there are some mods that I can download. You think I can get it on Java? Huh. It's in the marketplace. Let me see here. Let's see here. I don't think you can get it on. I think you can get better Minecraft. Better Minecraft mod. Yeah, there's no way I can get it on Java unless I go to like better Minecraft is what it's called, I think. Which is cool. Maybe that's something I'll do on another like future, I don't know, future world maybe, possibly. I have no earthly idea. Did Mumbo Elite just join my TikTok live? Oh my gosh, I don't know if this is the Mumbo Elite. Honestly, is there another Mumbo Elite in the world? No, there's no way, no shot. You're gonna check out better Minecraft? I mean, I have Bedrock. I just don't play on it because it's so. I don't know. It's disorienting to me. It makes me want to like throw up. It just looks so different from Java Minecraft, which I've played my entire life. My entire life. Okay, I've played since I bought Minecraft. It just looks weird to me. But tell me what you think about better Minecraft. And tell me if it's like similar in any way. Also, they need a better way of mining obsidian. This is what I'm talking about. If they had, you know, some gear upgrades that I could unlock that would allow me to mine obsidian a whole lot faster, genuinely, I care less about how long it takes to get that item, as long as the story that I have to work through, or the quest that I have to work through in order to get the item, is fun and engaging, then it would be worth it. That I don't have to sit here for 30 hours mining obsidian, purely because I don't want these pillars here. It's like the options are keep the pillars and build around the pillars, or get rid of the pillars and, You know what I mean? Spend 30 hours mining them. I'm sure there's a mod out there that'll let Better Minecraft is worse. Well, see, then look. That's dumb. I have to get like multiple mods in order to be better Minecraft on, or better on Bedrock or something like that. But I guess better on Bedrock is, I don't know. I don't know if it's free or not, but that's a cool add-on. Why we don't have that for Java as well, I don't know. It also bothers me that I have to switch between the two to play different. And I guess maybe because, I guess I understand why they're different. In the sense that like you're having to cater to console players. And so you have to be very, very careful about, like, I guess what you add into that world, because there's only so much that a console can handle, right? It's a whole lot harder to upgrade a console. I mean, I don't even know if you can upgrade a console unless you buy like a more updated version of that console. I don't think you can like take it apart. I mean, I'm sure there's someone out there, some tech wizard who knows how to take it apart and make it better, but like, and if you're going to be doing that, why not just buy a PC? You know what I mean? You wish that you had Java, kinda. Java's nice. I mean, the amount of mods that are available for free are absurd, right? So I don't have to spend any money in that regard, so that's kind of nice. I don't know, there's benefits to both. You can do server play on Java, but I also can't do Realms, right? Like I have to switch over to Bedrock for Realms, or if I want to play with any friends that are on console. But if all your friends have PCs, then you can all just jump on a server. I mean, to each their own, I think. I think there's benefits to both. It just depends on what you're looking for. Since I'm such a solo player, solo-oriented player, there really is no benefit to me playing on Bedrock. You know what I mean? Also, it's like, I don't know how to explain it, but like the way the inventory works on Bedrock, it seems slower. And it really messes with my head. I'm so used to playing on Java that it almost feels like a different game. Or it would feel like playing, playing Black Ops 6 on a PlayStation 5 and then going and playing Modern Warfare 3 or like World at War or something like that. One of the original Call of Duties. You'd be like, nostalgia makes this, like in my head, it's a whole lot more fun than it actually is. You know what I mean? Making Minecraft in Minecraft? I mean, yeah, I could not stream this. I could definitely not stream this, but I gotta do this anyways. And I have nothing, like, the only thing I'm focused on doing right now is creating this mega base. And so, I could, like, how do I explain this? I could sit here by myself, right, and not stream, and do this on my own, and then when I stream, go do something else, but it's going to take way longer to get that video out, you know what I mean? It's midnight for you? Dang, it's only 10 o'clock for me. The only reason I'm streaming doing this is because it's such a boring, tedious task, because like, if I have someone to talk to, it makes it easy. Believe me, if I could do something else in the world right now, I would. But there's nothing else in the world that I feel like doing, and I gotta get this done anyways, so I might as well just do it while I'm here. But also, the cool thing is like, at no point does anyone have to watch me do this. You know, I understand it's not the most fun or enjoyable thing to do, but since I gotta get it done, I'd rather stream it and do it and have the opportunity to talk to someone if that's a possibility. But also, I'm not gonna be mad if someone's like, this is boring, I don't want to watch. I get it. I completely understand. It's 10:47 for you, but that's close enough. We're just rounding up around here. I feel you. I feel you. I'm super tired too, which is kind of crazy considering I took a nap today for like 2 hours. I don't know why I'm so tired, but probably because I've been eating like crap the past few days. So yeah. I'll be not doing that starting tomorrow. I'll be back on my healthy eating. It blows my mind. I always do this. I'll eat really clean for a while, or really like healthier foods that really help with my energy. And then I'll be like, I have this craving, let me eat this. And then I just feel like crud, and I'm like, why do I stop eating like crud? It's because crappy food tastes great, but like, it's not worth the way I feel. Genuinely, I just feel so bad, it's not worth it. You're playing Minecraft all day? What were you doing? It also helps if like if the stream was bigger and you had more people to talk to. I imagine that would be a whole lot more. It'd be a whole lot more enjoyable hanging out in this stream. Adding some stuff in your realm, nice. Do you have like a large group of friends that you play with? And do you have a certain theme for your realm? I always thought about that. If I ever started a server, would I have a certain theme to it? Or would I just kind of go? Which I guess makes me interested in like the Dream SMP. What made that so entertaining? I never really watched it, so I have no idea like what made the Dream SMP so good, but I know that they had diehard fans. Did they like, it also makes me wonder like the storylines that they created, was that just, did they create that just randomly, or was that stuff that they planned out early on? You know what I mean? My phone is being blown up right now. Play with one other friend. That is true. You know, when you have, I think that's the balance. That's what I find so interesting with like, when randomly every now and then I'll get someone that joins the stream that's like, oh, you actually talk to chat, and it's like, yes, because it's just you. I have no one else to talk to. Versus when you have 1,000 people, or, you know, if you're like, you know, Kai Sanat, who has like 100,000 people in his stream sometimes, it is literally impossible for them to talk to you. Like their chat is flying a million miles an hour. How they're able to read and respond to anything blows my mind. Which I guess is one of the reasons why they have like chats that you can type in, or messages that you can pay to like have read out loud to them. Or that they'll read, maybe it's not read out loud to them, but they'll have it. You can like write a message to them and pay, and they'll read those messages so that they have a way of responding to chat. But like, I can't wrap my head around how streamers of that magnitude keep up with anything in chat. You know? Do I have memberships? Yes, I do. I don't know if I can use it. I'll show you some of the icons that I have. Let me see if I can do this. Hold on. I think I have them unlocked. Oh. You donated tonight? Yo! Thank you for the super chat. Mellow Man, that was kind. Appreciate that, dog. I appreciate that. So here are the icons that I have unlocked. So whenever you become a member, you get those. I haven't really thought about anything beyond that. I don't know, man. Maybe I'll add some other stuff. I'm really not that creative when it comes to like membership stuff. I just know it's a way for people to have like $2 in my Apple. Heck yeah. My sisters I tried to pay my sisters one time using my like Apple card. I don't have anything on my Apple card. I just have my credit card attached to my Apple account, and like you can't put like money from your card that's connected to your Apple account onto an Apple card. Does that make sense? It's so stupid in my mind. You have to like actually have the card with you and like put I don't know. It was kind of a pain. And at the time, we can keep going. At the time, my card was missing. I have since found it, but it really frustrated me that day because they're like, "Why don't you just use your Apple Card?" I was like, "Because I can't. I don't have any money on it." And they're like, "Well, you just put money on it." I was like, "I don't have my physical card, so I can't do it. I have it on my phone, but I can't." You know what I mean? You have a GameStop card connected to your phone? Really? I used to work at GameStop. Not as fun as people think it is. I don't know where, and as fun as I thought it was. I thought that because I was around video games, I was going to enjoy working there. No, it's a retail store. I'm like, it sucks. The people I worked with were pretty good, were awesome for the most part. I had one manager. The reason I quit was because of one manager. The manager that hired me was an amazing manager. I would have done anything for that manager. I would have worked at GameStop nonstop for a long time. But they traded him out. They basically moved him and switched him with another manager that worked at another store like 30 minutes away from us. And that new manager was not a fun person to be around. I disliked him entirely. I worked for him for probably a month or two before I walked out of the store on him. He was that bad. Maybe I'm just a really bad employee. I don't know, but not fun for me. And I think I've walked back into a GameStop. This was, oh man, 7 or 8 years ago. I mean, it was a long time ago. And yeah, I think I've walked into a GameStop probably twice since then. Oh yeah, dude. It's bad. It's bad. Even working there, even when you're working there and you're collecting those refunds and like you're trading stuff in, you're giving them their value, or if they want cash, it's really annoying because sometimes they don't give you cash. At least at the time, I don't remember them giving you cash. I think you had to take store credit. No, that's a lie. They'll give you cash, but it was way less than the store credit. And the store credit in and of itself was already trash. Dude, it was horrible. Horrible. Not cool whatsoever. So, but if you're trying to get like retail experience, if you're trying to get experience for a job, it's a great place to work. I don't know. I also worked in a mall, so I worked at the busiest GameStop in the city. And brother, the amount of people that don't know, like it was mind-boggling, the amount of people like during the Christmas season that would come in and be like, yeah, I'm looking for a game system. And I'd be like, okay, which one? And they'd be like, I don't know, it's one that turns on basically. And you're like, what? Huh? And then they would say like the most random names. They'd be like, yeah, I need an X Station 43. And you're like, oh, what? I mean, there's a PlayStation, there's an Xbox, there's Switch, there's Nintendo DS, there's 3DS. I mean, what are we talking here? And they'd be like, I don't know, I'm just buying it as a Christmas present. I'm like, you should really contact this person's parents, like if you're an aunt or an uncle or whatever, and really dial in on what the heck is going on. Ah, dang, the ad got you. So, basically, I was just rambling on how people are terrible at buying game systems. They don't know what they're doing. And I'm not like a genius when it comes to game systems or PCs or anything like that. But blew my mind how little people knew about the games and systems they were trying to buy for like Christmas presents. And then after Christmas, oh, the first 2 weeks after Christmas is refund hell. Okay, that's the best way of explaining it. Not fun whatsoever. Because you either have a parent that's like, yeah, my kid got mad that I bought this, I bought the wrong system, or you have the actual kid who's like, that's not what I asked for, and you're just looking at him like, you ungrateful little child. I asked for this version with this much, storage space, and I'm like, what? I think I asked my mom for an Xbox when I was a kid. And she looked at me and she was like, that's cool. You got a birthday coming up. You can save money from that. And there's a bunch of, you can walk around the neighborhood, pick up trash, mow lawns, figure it out. She's like, but I'm not buying you one. And I said, yes, ma'am. Cool. Went on about my day. I can't imagine getting an Xbox for Christmas, whether it's or a PlayStation 5 and telling my parents like this isn't what I wanted, and then just like handing them the controller or the box with the system in it, my parents would have, I would not be here. Did you try Minecraft on your phone? What would be the reasoning for putting it on your phone is my question. And my second question would be, have you ever played, like how many times have you played Minecraft on your phone? Okay. So from my personal experience, I've done that. I have Minecraft on my phone. I had a PC. This PC that I'm playing on right now was having some like really bad lag issues a few months ago, and I was really concerned about whether or not I was going to be able to record and play. And so I got Minecraft on my phone and I played for about 10 minutes and haven't played since. So, yes, it's easier, but the mechanics of the game, using your thumbs and the little trackpad that they have, I'm sure you can make an incredible. I think who is it? I can't think of the Minecrafter's name, but he started on mobile. Absolutely, like if you're dead serious about making content and you're gonna buy it, I mean it's not super expensive, so if you buy it and you know you're gonna play, then sure, do that. But I would just be prepared that like mobile is not nearly as from a control standpoint as friendly as you may think, right? And so that's just kind of how I view it. But why? I mean, I don't know if you I don't know. Dang, I don't know, because you're spending money on it. You'd really have to like make some videos to see if it's worth it for you, and I don't know if that's something you really want to do. Also, I don't know how editing works with mobile. Like, are you just gonna record straight up and post that? Oh, you've already got it? Then why not? Try it out. Try recording. See if you can edit it. I know there's editing apps out there. See how friendly those editing apps are. And if it will work, and if it works, great. Go from there. And then when you get, when you build a large enough channel, or you save money from your job or whatever it is, fix up your PC and then go from there. Make the transition. I'm sure there's a way of downloading that world. Because you said you play on Bedrock, right? So I'm sure there's a way of downloading your mobile world to your computer and continuing the world there if you build a really sick world. I just think it's gonna, for me personally, the amount of time committed to that, like a mobile world, and what I would complete, because I'm such a inefficient, slow player, it just wasn't gonna work for me. You know what I mean? I also don't know how you would communicate. Like, I'm sure there's ways of like doing voiceover work and stuff like that. I don't know. I'm not gonna tell you what to do with your time and your money. But if you think it's worth it for you, then why the heck not? And if you already have it and you really want to make content, then the worst thing that can happen is that you are in the same place while you save up money to fix your PC. Best case scenario, you start making progress on your channel and you learn a lot about editing and just Minecraft building and stuff, right? Like, there's some positives there. And the only outcome that you have if you don't do it is that you're going to be doing, like, let's say worst case scenario is you start playing on your mobile phone, or like you play on mobile, you record, you don't get any views, nothing happens with your YouTube channel. That's the worst case scenario, right? And so you end up in the same position that you are currently. And the best case scenario is you do that and your YouTube channel grows, you get better at editing and storytelling, and you continue saving and you fix your PC when you can, right? So I think in that regard, it's like, I don't know, you kind of end up in the same position no matter what. But that's just me. I, 'cause, 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 ' All right, Melman. I mean, I appreciate that. I mean, I'd like to have a very successful career as well, but I also know that it doesn't happen overnight. It's a lot of hard work, and these empty. None of these. Hold on. Are any of these empty? Make another one. I don't need that. I don't really need any of this with me right now. We can stick them in here. These are for the TNT dupers and whatnot. I don't need them. Put that in there. All right, cool. You gained a sub. Heck yeah. You know what? This hasn't... As boring as mining obsidian is, this hasn't gone as bad as I guess I thought it would. I mean, I still have to go through the island if I want to get rid of all the pillars, but like, I think my goal right now is to just get these all down to Y level 60 and then go from there. I don't know. Do you have a sub goal? You trying to reach like a certain amount of subs? I'm assuming it's 1,000 subs. Maybe it's 100 subs. I don't know. I think anything can happen in a year, you know, if you give it your all. Is what I've been trying to do with this world. I think people overcomplicate YouTube, and it's like all you really have to do is make a good title, a great great title, great thumbnail, make a great video. Like if you really break it down, you know what I mean? You hit 50 today, and the goal is to hit 100. Heck yeah! Because this time last year I had 50 something, I think 52 subs roughly. I mean, I guess I could look it up. I'm sure I could look it up somewhere. You don't have Photoshop? I don't use Photoshop. I don't have Photoshop either. I use a website called, it's called Pixlr, Pixlr.com. So I think it's free. And you can make edit 3 photos or 3 thumbnails a day. Or you can save 3 of them a day, and then you have to pay for the, like if you want to do more than that, you got to pay, but that might help you out if you're looking for like some free ways of working on nicer thumbnails. Go to Pixlr.com. And it will help you. And then if you're looking for free editing software, I use DaVinci Resolve. It's a really robust editing software. There's a paid version. I think it's like $300, and it unlocks every feature, but I haven't paid for that. I've used only the free version, and that's how I made the videos that I've made. So, heck yeah. Do it on your phone, see what happens. Why not? You have nothing to lose, right? So, especially with a channel that's like as small as yours, and a channel that's as small as mine. Like, there's nothing to lose. You know what I mean? So, try it out, see what happens, and go from there. Now, if you had 100,000 subscribers or something crazy like that, then you might, or even if you had like 10 or 15,000, then at that point, maybe you're having to think about it. That guy, are you late? I've only been streaming for an hour, so I don't know how late I will stream today, because I got to get up at like 8 a.m. And I was really tired when I started the stream, but I mean, I'm probably gonna stream for at least another hour. Besides money from bills, that's what I had to lose. Well, that's true. I mean, if you're making enough money from YouTube or from content creation in general, then yeah, you have more to think about. I don't. Like, this is not a... I don't make enough money from this to have to worry about bills being paid. You know what I mean? So I'm in a position where I get to make content and stream, and I make a little money on the side, and that's cool. but it's not the end all be all for me. I'm definitely blessed in the sense that like bills are going to be paid and stuff. That's what my parents have to lose. Dude, I will say that I will die on this hill. But if you can live with your parents and keep your expenses low, do that as long as you can. As long as like you're helping out around the house. I mean, obviously if you're young and you're like in school, that's different. Like if you've graduated and like you're in college and you get to stay at home and go to school, or maybe you don't go to college. Maybe you just stay at home, you work a job, you keep your expenses low and you stack up money. Like, I don't know why it's so frowned upon to do that. I mean, I was the type of person, as soon as I was able to move out, I moved out. And looking back on that, that was kind of a stupid decision. So, that's just me. That's just me. That guy, how are you doing though? How's your day been? I hope it's been great. I went and had dinner with my pops, and for Father's Day. Love that man. He's hilarious. Just an all-around great guy. So it was really good to see him. I need to call him and see him more. I am a I think part of it's because of my ADHD, but I like, if it's out of sight, it's out of mind. So I don't like, I will ghost people without intentionally ghosting people, if that makes sense. So I just won't call or text or reach out to my family because I'm usually like thinking, or even friends or anybody for that matter. I'm just like in my own head all the time, thinking about what's going on in my life. And so, but every time I go see like my family or my friends, I'm like, dude, man, why don't I spend more time with them? You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm a Father's Day present. Heck yeah, what'd you get him? That's none of my business. I mean, that was rude. That's none of my business. I'm glad that you had a great Father's Day. I'm glad you got to go have dinner with him. That's awesome. I don't know. Moms are incredible. Don't get me wrong. Moms are incredible, incredible people. They're incredible women. They are stronger than they are strong. Some of the strongest people I've ever met in my life. Okay. That being said, dads are so important, man. Dads are so important. And I feel for anyone that doesn't have their father-in-law in their life for whatever reason. Man, just don't take it for granted, dude. You know what I mean? Don't take it for granted. His had a hole in it. Dude. I bet you, I don't know how appreciative he was. But I bet you he didn't say, I bet you that made his freaking day. I bet you that made his freaking day. What an awesome son. I think I've seen people do that. I don't know how well it works. I don't know what the transition is from viewers on shorts to long form videos, but I know I've seen a few channels that, granted, I will say this, they built their channels going from, they started making long form content after they had like 1 million subscribers. So obviously it's a different place than you are, but I know shorts are a great way to grow your channel if you're really good at making shorts. I am dog water at it. I am so bad at making shorts. Another pillar down. Yes, sir. Slow and steady it always wins the race. At least that's what I'm going to tell myself, because I'm coping at the moment. Okay. I feel that. That's awesome. Sounds like your dad's a pretty hard worker if he has holes in his shoes, in his work shoes. What a fantastic role model to have. I have big feet, so I don't like buying shoes because I have such big feet. My shoes are like quite a bit more expensive than like if you wear, I don't know what the normal size foot is in the world, but yeah, I have really big feet, so I have to pay more for my shoes. Kind of sucks. It doesn't kind of suck, it really sucks. Because I'll look at the same shoes and one's like $80, and then I look at mine and it's 120, 130, and I'm like, dude, are you kidding me? I get it. I get you gotta use more material, but it's $40 or $50 more expensive. That doesn't make sense in my head. Especially when it's something that I can't control, right? Like, if it's like the difference between getting a prime ribeye steak or just getting, you know, a normal, just, I don't know other steaks. I don't know a cheaper steak, but like a normal steak, everyday steak, that makes sense to me. But I literally have no say in my foot size. I can understand if it's a double XL because I'm fat. That's another thing. It's like, no. If I would lose weight, then I wouldn't have to spend as much money on clothing because I'm not as fat, right? But I genuinely cannot change my foot size. I have no control over that. Same with his shoes. You got a big dad. Let's go. Shout out to all the big men out there. Well, I'll start your Minecraft carry. Wait. Your Minecraft carried on YouTube. What does that mean? What is Minecraft carried? Are you talking about because you're going to be playing on mobile? Oh, your Minecraft career. Got you. The old Minecraft career, huh? Isn't it weird to think that, like, Minecraft can be a career? Or just YouTube in general. Isn't that, like, an interesting thought? Maybe it's just me, but it's a fascinating thought. It's a cool thought, but fascinating. Autocorrect flipping hates you. I think autocorrect hates everybody. You know what makes me the most mad about autocorrect? Is when I know I'm spelling a word close to what I'm looking for, but I don't know how to spell it exactly, and it just doesn't autocorrect or give me the options. It doesn't give me the option that I'm looking for. That is the worst. I'm like, you're a supercomputer in my hand. Figure it out. You know what I mean? It's like it's trying to prove that I'm dumb. And I'm like looking at my phone. I'm like, I get it. I understand. I can't spell. Thank you. You're making me feel so much better about myself. Please give me the word I'm looking for. I have no idea what CapCut is. I don't think I've ever heard of it. And why didn't YouTube work out for you? I think YouTube is one of those things that, like, as long as you're working towards, as long as you're trying to make your content better than the last, right? Each video, whether it's a short or a long form video, or maybe it's even just like you're trying to make your stream. Like, let's say you stream, you're trying to make it better than the last. Then there's always, like, eventually, if given enough time, you'll start to find success, right? Like, it may not be, oh, I'm gonna have 1.5 million subscribers. But, like, if you go from 100 to 5,000, that's success. You're making progress. You know what I mean? I think one of the things I hate about social media is we fixate on like this idea that people who, like, you either have to have 1 million subscribers or you're not successful at all, when that is not even remotely close to the truth. And the thing is like, it's never been easier to find success on social or in any type of work than it is today, because genuinely speaking, most people are super lazy. Like, almost all you have to do is show up every single day and try to be a little bit better than the day before, and you'll beat out 99.9% of the population. Think about how many people have a YouTube channel and try to make content and then don't take the time to look at their content and be like, okay, what am I doing poorly here and how can I do better? That is literally all you have to do. If you will do just that, I promise you will find some level of success. You just got to commit to it. And I tell you that because that's what I did. The only reason I have, almost 2,000 subscribers is because 8 months ago was like, my content is trash because I don't take it seriously and I haven't put the time in to be good at it. And that was the difference. That was the only difference. It was like, okay, I'm going to start taking personal accountability and responsibility. And the reason my YouTube channels are performing poorly isn't because people don't want to watch my content. Well, they don't want to watch my content, but the reason they don't want to watch my content is because I'm putting out trash. And if you can look at the person in the mirror and as hard as it is to say that, if you can do that, I promise you will start finding some level of success. Well, thank you. I'm not trying to be motivational. I hope you know that. I'm not trying to grill you. I just think it's important to understand that, like, the majority of people on the planet are lazy people. That is naturally what humans do. That is our natural. We try to take the path of least resistance. If you can do something that is hard day in and day out, you will find success. And maybe success isn't having, you know, 100,000 subscribers or 1,000 subscribers. Maybe success is like you build yourself, you develop a skill in editing, and you can take that into the workforce, and in 10 years you're working on, you know, feature films as an editor or something. I don't know. Melon Man, have a great night. Peace out. Appreciate you hanging out. Hope luck comes to the stream. Luck is when opportunity meets preparation, so I'm prepared for it. That sounded so cheesy, but I love it. I love it. I hope luck comes to your world too, Melon Man. Have a great night, brother. But I don't know. I think anyone can find success on YouTube. I'm willing to bet if you go onto YouTube right now and you type in, I don't know, what is something that sounds really ridiculous? You can find a successful channel that probably does well view-wise and financially based off of painting nails, manicures, and stuff. Where did I get the name Splunky from? Okay, so it's kind of a weird story. So, oh, that scared the mess out of me. Yo, Melon Man with another super chat. Melon Man, you're too kind, dog. Thank you. I appreciate that. That scared the mess out of me. Oh, my heart. That hurt. Melon Man with the 99-cent goodbye. Appreciate you, dog. So Splunky. So my favorite, I guess, not content creator, but my favorite Call of Duty professional player, he's also a content creator, is Scump from Optic Gaming. But before he went by Scump, he went by Scumpy when he was younger. And so I kind of wanted that kind of umpy part at the end, but I didn't like the M. And so I changed that to an N. But there is also I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Holes, but there is a scene in the movie where they're like under this boat in the middle of a desert, and there's spiced peaches, and they ended up calling it Sploosh. So basically I took Sploosh and I took Spunky and I stuck them, or well, Scumpy, stuck them together, didn't like the M, changed the M to an N, and it made Splunky. So instead of Splumpy, it became Splunky. That was basically it. I love the movie Holes. It's one of the best movies that Disney has ever created. I think it's based off of a book, but I'm not 100% sure on that, but I love that movie. I think Shia LaBeouf is arguably one of the greatest actors of our time. He had some really, really, really bad things, not bad things happen to him necessarily, but he had some rough moments, made some really bad decisions. But he seems to have gotten he's owned up to it, seems to have gotten himself together. What he did was not okay. It will never be okay. But I'm happy that he's been able to like turn his life around in that sense. But yeah, no, that's basically how I came up with the name. Was Splunky, was Sploosh from that movie, and then my favorite Call of Duty player. And then the color for my character came from Jimmy Neutron. There's a soda in that show, and I can't remember what it's called. It's called Purple Flurple or something like that. Purple Flurp. And the color purple is the color of that drink, and so I took that basically. So that's how I came up with this character. So yeah. Also, purple is the color of royalty, so I thought that was kind of cool. To help me feel better about myself. So nothing really crazy, just slam two words together and voila, Splunky is what it is. And I don't know, I think Splunky kind of flows really... Okay, I think Splunky flows together really well. Maybe it doesn't, I don't know. I think it's funny and kind of catchy, and here we are, a year later. Yeah, thank you. I also didn't want to do it, like, I've seen, not that this is a bad thing, I don't think there's any really, like, I don't think there's a bad thing, but I didn't want to use my personal name, and then I didn't want to be like, I don't know. I don't know. Like, I didn't want to stick like random letters and numbers together and like make it spell a word and then try to pronounce. You know what I mean? That seemed like a chore for me. I wanted something that was short and sweet. You know, 1 to 2 syllables that really, really sounded good. And Splunky was it. I don't know if it necessarily works well. It feels like it does, I think, but yeah. I still don't know what to call the community though. Like, if you join with a membership, what do I call the members? Like, splooters or something? I don't know. Splashies? Blooshes? I don't know. I have no idea. Also, the icons that I have for memberships don't really fit with the character that I've created with Minecraft, because they were icons and like emotes and emblems and stuff that I created a long time ago, right? So I don't know. The pizza place in Mosey. I've never heard of that place. Is that like a franchise or something, like Domino's or something like that, or is it like a local place? It has to be a local place. I've never heard of that. But just because of the name, I bet you their pizza slaps. I have to imagine their pizza is insane. They just sound like they can cook up a mean pie, man. I feel it in my bones. What's your favorite kind of pizza? Ooh, this is a hot topic. Are you a pineapple on pizza kind of guy? This is important. I need to know. Are you a pineapple on pizza? Thank you. Oh my gosh, guy. Thank you. Thank you. Oh. I was gonna cry if you said yes. I will say this, I don't like fruit to be hot in general. So like, I don't like cooked fruit. I will eat like peach cobbler and like apple pie, but it has to be an insanely good peach cobbler or like apple pie. Like grandma's recipe that's been around for like 150 years, like that type of good. You know what I mean? You don't judge people that do. You're a better man than me. You're better than I am. Because I'll straight up and look at I've had one pizza that had pineapple on it that I thought was good. It was like this white cheesy sauce with like Canadian bacon on it. But that's the only time I'll ever eat it that way. Any other way, I'm like, nah, I'm disgusting. And even then, it's like a hit or miss. There's only been one pizza that I was like, oh, this is actually fire with the pineapple. Mainly because I didn't feel the texture of the cooked pineapple. If that makes sense. I hate the texture of cooked fruit. I don't understand the whole hot fruit thing either. I don't get it. I just hate the texture of the fruit. It's not even a taste thing. The taste, like pineapple is my favorite fruit. But when fruit is cooked, it changes the texture to the point that I don't know, maybe it feels like baby food. I don't know, it makes me sick to my stomach. Macaroni pizza. Have I ever had macaroni pizza? Have I ever had macaroni pizza? I don't think I've ever had macaroni pizza. But I'm down to try. It sounds pretty good. I recently had pretzel crust pizza from, what is it, Little Caesars? Not good at all. It was pizza crust. It was stuffed pizza crust. And it was not good at all. I don't like pretzels all that much, but I was like, ooh, I thought it was just gonna be the crust. No, what they did is they made the whole thing. They sprinkled it with the like pretzel salt, which I don't like to begin with. The whole thing, so that bothered me. And then they used a nacho cheese sauce instead of like actual pizza sauce, and that bothered me to know. I hated it. I thought it was just gonna be the crust that was pretzel, and not the whole pizza. And it was not good. Way too salty. Exactly. It was hot garbage. I was mad that I spent the money on it, but I ate it anyways because I spent the money on it. You know what I mean? But I lived and I learned, and I will never purchase that again. Ever. Ever. Not never, not ever, ever will I ever purchase that trash again. I think I'd rather just not eat. Like, if it's offered to me, I'd rather not eat. I'll tell them, think of it. I appreciate the offer, but I'm just not going to eat. Let me get rid of this. Oh, wait. Let me just do it this way. Twin, where have you been? Yep. That's the worst part. Like, I know there are people out there who can just throw it away. I can't do that. I can't throw it away. Like, why don't you just not eat it? Because I paid for it. I used my money. I could have bought anything. And I bought this hot trash, and I'm not going to let it go to waste. It's such... I wish I could throw it away. I wish I could. I wish I could step away and be like, you know what? I'm just going to take this L, but I can't do it. I'm going to have to suffer through eating this trash. Because I spent the money, because I worked for that money. You know how long it took me to get that money? Like, because it's like, what, $10? I had to work, like, if I was working minimum wage job, it took me an hour and a half. That's an hour and a half of my day that I wasted working, and that I wasted then on hot garbage trash pizza. Which is not a fun feeling. It's a horrible feeling. So, you know. And what I should have done, I should have looked up reviews. I should have asked somebody. I should have texted somebody like, hey, has anyone had this pizza? Is it good? Yes, no. And I should have known. It's really my fault, actually. I know I don't like pretzels. I'm not a fan of pretzels, like Auntie Anne's or whatever it's called. I don't hate it. I just, like, there are better options out there for a snack, in my opinion. Especially at their price point. And I thought, hey, if you combine pretzels, which I don't like, with pizza, maybe it makes it better. No. I don't know if I've ever been more wrong in my life. And I'm saddened by this reality. Oh yeah, it's bad. And I learned that from my parents. We don't waste food. I get it. I genuinely do. But there are times where I wish my parents taught me, you know what, it's okay to throw something away if you don't like it, if you really despise it. There's only been a handful of times where something's been so gross that I will not, I don't care if I spent money on it. My wife bought was it a lasagna? We bought this like frozen lasagna. And the packaging, I got to give it to their marketing team because their packaging, it looked insane. Like, it's hard to put into words how good it looked on the packaging. I was like, oh man, this is going to be fire. We took one bite. And we bought two of them. I don't think they were super expensive. I took one bite, my wife took one bite, we threw it away in the trash, and then the frozen one that was sitting in the freezer, we just threw it away. We just threw it away. And I did not care. That's one of the few times where I've thrown something away where I was like, I can't eat this. I will not. I can torture myself to a degree, but this is worse than torture. I don't know what this is called, but I'm not going to be a part of it. That doesn't happen very often. But it has happened. Which is probably one of the reasons why I'm as fat as I am, is because I have this mental block in my head where I'm like, I have to finish everything on my plate. I have to, if I see food and it's available, like I should eat it. But that's not real. It's not the reality. It's like, no, if you're not hungry, big boy, don't eat. Big guy, I shouldn't say boy, big guy, don't eat, you know? I don't know. Also, it doesn't help that I was an athlete. Because when you're in sports, for some reason, you have this false idea that you should just eat everything in sight. And maybe there is some reality in that of like, no, you're actually really hungry because you're constantly working out. But when you stop being an athlete, all of a sudden, like, you stop all the movement, but your hunger doesn't disappear. You're still hungry. Your body's used to consuming a stupid amount of food. You know? You know what I will say is good, though? There's a place in Las Vegas called Yellowtail. Right? Yellowtail? Hold on. Let me think. Is it Yellowtail? Yellowfin's not it. Okay, it's Yellowtail. It's a sushi place. I don't know if you like sushi. I don't typically like raw sushi. Right? No. Sushi's what I like. Sushimi's what I don't like. Generally speaking. I had sushimi from that place and regular sushi, like normal sushi. I've never had sushi slash sushimi that good in my life. Granted, I will say it was like a Michelin star or something like that, maybe. I don't know. I can't remember. So good. Do you have any monitor recommendations? I'm trying to find a monitor to play games like Minecraft on, but my monitor can't handle Minecraft. Sushi's your favorite? Heck yeah. Heck yes. Do I have any monitor recommendations? I am kind of monitor stupid. I look for a deal. So I have two Asus monitors. I could not tell you the specs on them. They were on sale at one point. They're 60 frames per second, I think. I genuinely have no idea. I just tried to find a monitor that said it could play video games relatively well and that was not going to break the bank. And these were, I think I spent $200 or $300 on them. $250, something like that. And they work really, really well for me. But I wish I could help you, but I'm for someone who makes content online, I'm kind of technologically stupid. And so I don't want to sit here and lie to you and pretend like I am this tech savvy individual. I'm not. I built my computer over the course of like 16 hours watching a video on YouTube. It was a long, drawn out process, kind of painful. I did not install my CPU because I was terrified I was going to mess it up, so my cousin did that for me. He's built a computer. So yeah. Oh man. Yeah, I know Asus is a decent brand. Yeah, your best bet. I'm not okay. This may sound dumb, and if there's someone out there that's super tech savvy, they may tell you that I'm pretty dumb. But I generally go to Best Buy and I ask the guys there. I don't know if they actually know what they're talking about. I also do read a bunch of reviews. Like if I buy from Amazon or something like that, I'll read a bunch of like 4 or 5 of the reviews to make sure that like, even though I don't necessarily understand specs, I just want to make sure that like the reviews are good. If the reviews are good and a lot of them say something about playing video games, then generally I'm like, okay, I think I'm okay. That may be a terrible way of finding a good monitor. Okay, let me just preface like let me tell you that may be a horrible way of doing it, but it has worked out for me. So that's what I would say. Oh man, that sounds horrible. Now, I will say I do make sure that I look up like making sure that all the different wires and connections like work with my PC. I also double check to see if I need to like change any like get any adapters or anything like that. I also have never used an LG monitor, so I don't know anything about them. My old monitor, like before I got these new ones, I had 2 different monitors that were not the same. One was a monitor that my mom bought when I was probably like 10, and it just happened to, I mean, it was, I don't know, almost 20 years old when it conked out on me, so. And I took it from her because she was like, I have no need for it. I don't have a computer, so you can have it if you want it. And I was like, bet. So. But like I said, I am one of the, I should really know more about PCs and stuff, but I'm bad at it. Oh, dude, cats. Oh, cats. I have a cat. And I'm not a cat person, but I have one. Mainly because he acts more like a dog, and he's an indoor-outdoor cat, so, like, he comes inside, hangs out for about 10 minutes, eats food, gets water, and then it's like, all right, I want to go back outside. So, it's like, I don't see him all the time. And he doesn't, like, knock stuff off of our counters. You know, I think we're blessed in that way. But I've heard horror stories. I would lose my mind. And also, my gaming room is in an office in our backyard. And so I can lock the door. He is not allowed in here because if he broke anything in my office, I wouldn't hurt him, but I would rip my own hair out. I want to know what that is. What's their fascination with expensive stuff? They just look at it and they're like, huh, that looks like it will fall over and shatter. Let me try it and see what happens. And then they do it and it makes a loud noise and they jump 5 feet in the air and run off. And I just stare at them like, I've seen videos and I'm just like, are you okay, kitty cat? Is there something wrong? You know what I mean? This is a random thought, but I need to get rid of those. Huh. That's not gonna be fun. Huh. I don't like that being there. Also, I thought it'd be really cool if I removed the bedrock on these portals, but I don't want to do all that. Like, imagine if they were just floating there and then, like, glass were around them. Maybe I do that? I don't know. That's a problem for future Splunky. So the cat broke my old monitor, which was like $300. Oh no, nah, dog. I gotta. I'll finish reading that here in a second. Let me compute and just $300. Oh no. Oh no. My dog chewed through a. I don't know, I spent probably 20 bucks on the underwear, and it chewed through one pair of them, and I almost lost my mind. And then it chewed on the heel of like a $70 pair of shoes, which I still wear today, but I was hot. I was fuming. I was so mad about that. I can't imagine having a $300 monitor shatter or break because of I would lose. It would take a really long time to get rid of that bedrock, right? Probably not worth it, but yeah, I can understand your feeling there. I get it. I'm glad that you had self-control, though. Kudos to you. I respect you for that. That would have been a very, very, very angry individual that day. And I hate when something happens, like, that could be prevented. I don't know if that could be prevented, but like I hate when I do something that can be prevented. Like my dog's chewing on my shoes. It was like if I would have put my shoes in my closet like I was supposed to, then I would never have been in that situation. My dog would have never chewed on my shoes, right? It's moments like that where I'm like, I can't be mad at you for doing what you do, which is just being a dog, living life. Especially when I walk into the house and you look me in my eyes with your tongue out and your tail flapping. You know, wagging around, and you're just like I'm your world, you know? Like I'm mad at you for me being dumb. Ugh. Your case is special because you got a cat, and that's just pain on a different level. Cats are like, yeah, you can scratch my head for the next 23.8 seconds, but if you go half a second longer than that, I'm going to chew on your hand or scratch you. And it's like, dude. You came to me and sat in my lap. I didn't ask you to come over here. Yep, that's the worst. That's the worst feeling where you're like, I should have just closed my door. And this never would have happened. I hate it. Which is why I understand now as an adult why my parents were like, close the door, turn off the light. I get it now. Like, oh, I understand now. You got bills to pay, and we're just letting like the water run in the sink. We don't turn the faucet all the way off. I get you now. I understand why you're so frustrated by it. Close the door to the outside. We have the AC running. It's 110 outside. I get why my parents used to yell at me. Right. It's all preventable. It really is. It stinks when it happens. Dang, you're a big reader. So, am I a big reader? If you can get me to sit down, if I have the time to sit down and read, yes, I love reading. I wouldn't say I'm a big reader, but I do love to read. One of my dream things is to have my own library in a house. Just my own reading room with all my favorite books. And then new books that maybe aren't my favorite, but like look really good. I think that would be so cool. I do listen to a lot of books on audio because because I have kids and whatnot, sitting down and reading a book just isn't, I'll sit down and read their books that have my kids' books. Like sitting down and just reading I'm usually, by the time I have the time to sit down and read, I'm either streaming or recording because I didn't have time to do that, or I'm just tired from the day and I'm like, I want to go to sleep, right? So you've read around 70 books this year? What? That's insane. You are a mega reader. Okay. So do you like writing as well? Are you like into writing your own books and stuff? No, I can't come up with ideas. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. I'm not a writer either. I can't write to save my life. I can come up with ideas, but I'm grammatically challenged, so makes writing kind of difficult. Okay. Yeah, my mom's side of the family, they're big readers. My grandfather was, my grandmother is, both my aunts, my mom's sisters are big readers. I have sisters that are really big readers. I'm not sure if my dad's a big reader. I don't think so. He's big into cars. He likes cars, which is crazy to me because I know nothing about cars. I have almost no interest in cars. As long as my car gets me from point A to point B, I'm pretty happy. I don't need it souped up. I don't need anything. Well, that's a lie. No, that's not a lie. I don't need it to be souped up, but if I did get a car, I would be more interested in performance, like Need for Speed type of looking cars. Yes, I read manga. What did I read? I'm currently reading through, I guess it's not manga, it's manhwa, but it's still, I don't know, it's all the same to me. But I've read all the way through, like, the beginning of the Wano arc of One Piece, and then I stopped because I was tired of waiting every week for the new chapters to drop, and so now I'm just watching it. I read all of Naruto. I've read. What am I reading right now? I can look it up. What is it called? 1 second. Give me just a moment here, and I'll tell you what it is. I've read all of Jujutsu Kaisen. I am reading. I've basically read all of Black Clover. I don't read a ton, let's see, of like different mangas, but I do read. I've read through quite a few. Maybe not quite a few. I haven't read any Demon Slayer, but I've watched most of that. Well, I've watched every season of Demon Slayer. What's the one with like the... There's one that came out recently. Let's see. Kaiju number 8. I've been reading through that. Let's see what else. And then right now I've been reading all of, I'm up to date on Blue Lock. And then I'm also reading, what's the other one that I've been reading? The Beginning After the End. I've read basically all of Solo Leveling, so that makes sense. That makes tons of sense. Yeah, One Piece is one of those ones where, like, how do I explain One Piece? One Piece is one of those ones where you have to read like halfway through everything. There's just some of the arcs are really tedious and boring to get through. I imagine from a reading standpoint, from what I remember, but definitely from a watching perspective. But you grow, you grow. The characters grow on you so much as you watch more and more that it becomes easier. But really, you have to get through like the first 300 episodes of One Piece before it starts to get good, and then there's still some arcs even after that where you're like, dang, this is bad. So like after there's a time skip, and the first arc after the time skip is like it's like pulling teeth, and then after that it's pretty good. So, but I understand like it's like, I don't know, who wants to sit down and watch 1,000 episodes of anything, right? And so I've been watching One Piece pretty consistently for the past 2 years. And so I've gotten through all the boring stuff. I'm at the really good stuff now, right? So Naruto was one of those ones where like I was watching it and then we entered into the final war and I was like, dog, this is going to take way too long. It took like 4 years to get through the final war, and the war in the actual manga is like 3 days long. And I think what has been a cool transition is that like manga artists and writers no longer, I mean, maybe they will, maybe there'll be another one that's like One Piece or like Naruto or like Bleach where it's like years and years of writing. But it seems now that they're cutting out a lot of the fluff, and they're just trying to get to the pacing's a whole lot better, I guess. And so it's a whole lot easier to digest and read, even watch. Read all of Tokyo Ghoul, Jujutsu Kaisen, Attack on Titan, Death Note. Woo! I've never read any of the Dragon Ball stuff or Dragon Ball Z. I just watched all of it, including GT. I've never read Death Note, Attack on Titan, or Bungo Stray Dog, though I've watched a good portion of Bungo Stray Dog. I've watched a good portion of Attack on Titan. I just got really annoyed when it was like the final season, part 38,000. I was like, dog, y'all have got to stop doing this. Just give me the final season so I can watch it. And so I haven't finished Attack on Titan because I got really annoyed with that. Tokyo Ghoul was... I never read Tokyo Ghoul, so I don't know how the anime compares to it, but I've heard that it's not... Like, a lot of people who have read Tokyo Ghoul weren't necessarily happy with the anime, so I just never went back to read it because I was like, I was pretty happy with the anime because I had nothing to compare it to, so we're going to leave it at that. Okay, you just read it. Cool. I watched it and didn't read it, and but I don't know. Blue Lock, I think, has been amazing. I was happy with the first season of Blue Lock in terms of the anime, and then I was so addicted to it that I was like, I'm gonna go see if there is a manga. I mean, well, I knew there was, and I was like, I'm just gonna read through it all. And so I haven't watched the second season, but I was told that the second season was kind of trash in comparison because they apparently didn't give the animators enough time or the studios didn't give the studios didn't give the animators enough time to work on the second season, and so like there's like stuff that they did during the second season that just doesn't look very good, so I haven't watched season 2. Did I like season 3 of Tokyo Ghoul? It's been so long since I watched Tokyo Ghoul, I don't know. I probably watched... When did Tokyo Ghoul come out? I can't remember. I don't know. I would be lying to you. I'd have to go back and rewatch it. Did I ever watch season 3 of Tokyo Ghoul? I don't know. I genuinely have no idea. Yeah, I have no idea. I just remember watching it at the time, and people were... First season people were happy with, and then after that, I don't know if I know I watched the second season. I don't know if I watched the third. Can't remember. It came out in 2014. Okay, then I definitely watched it. I don't remember if I liked it. I think I have a vague memory of being a little bit confused as to what was going on, but I don't have any memory of like why I felt that way. Something seemed off to me, but like I said, I never read it, so I don't know. Like, I had nothing to compare it to in terms of... And also, I will say this. Tokyo Ghoul was the first time, like, when I first got into anime, I was watching Naruto and Dragon Ball Z, right? So, like, I didn't really watch One Piece at the time, but, like, it was very cartoony in the terms of, like, American cartoons. And so I didn't realize, like, how dark anime could get. And so I think that's what... Not that I'm really into like horror or dark themed stuff in general, but Tokyo Ghoul made me so uncomfortable when I first watched it, but I couldn't stop watching it. I was like, oh my gosh, they talk about really dark stuff. Like, anime isn't just for kids, because, you know, in America, we have cartoons that are just like, cartoons are for kids. It's not like, you know what I mean? And we're coming around, right? You know? Had the new person, I didn't tell us, so we all just thought it was a side character, but it was actually... Okay, I vaguely remember that, but I'd have to go back and watch. Okay, like I said, I do remember something being off, and I was very confused. I was like, what is going on here? And I remember everyone being mad about it, but I was like, I don't know why everyone's mad. Is there something that I'm missing here? And this was before I had found out... I think this was before I realized that, like, manga was a thing. I think shortly after this is when I found out that manga was a thing. Or it was around the time that I found out that manga was a thing. So I'd never read Tokyo Ghoul. So did they change, like, how different is season 3 from, like, the manga? Ah, no, you don't have to apologize for... I'm not gonna... How do I... I've had this question asked, like, if I'm family friendly or something like that. I just try not to use certain language because I want to be respectful of whoever's watching. But you can say, within reason, basically, whatever you... Like, talk however you want to, you know? Like, if you use quote-unquote bad language, then that's cool. Now, if you're going around being, like, you're being racist or something weird like that... Yeah, then I'm probably gonna have a problem with that. But if you say, I don't know, the F word, I'm not gonna be like, hey, don't do that. I don't know, you know what I mean? One, because I'm an adult, so I don't care. I'm just not gonna talk like that because that's a personal choice. So that's just me. That's just me. One anime I've really gotten into that I haven't watched the third season of is Fire Force. And I don't know if I necessarily love the story or if I just love the art and animation. It's probably the art and animation and the fight. Like, I will say this. I don't care what... I may die on this hill. They have some of the best sound design for, I guess, fighting with fire that I've ever heard. It is so good, the sound design. So Fire Force is dope, in my opinion. And the fights are freaking sick. That's just me, though. Everyone else can... If you don't like it, you don't like it, but... I don't care. I don't care. Oh, interesting. Let's see. I see. The storyline was really messed up. Ah. I've never understood why people do that. That is one of my pet peeves with like any studio, and you see it a lot with like Disney and Marvel, is they start to stray away from source material. And I understand, like, to some degree you have to like stray away from source material to like piece together an independent film or show or something like that. Like, there to some degree you're gonna have to do that. I understand that. But when you take away the fundamental building blocks of a story, of a comic book or a manga or anything for that matter, right? Like, if there's diehard fans of something and you're going to turn it into a movie or into a show, it is incredibly important that you do your research on the original source material and you stick to it as well as you possibly can, because that's what the fans fell in love with. And then to see what they were reading come to life is what we're excited about. And why they can't wrap their heads around that doesn't make any sense to me. Now, I will admit, I'm not playing with millions of dollars, and so I recognize that you have people that need to make money, but come on, bro. I don't feel like it's that hard to read source material and build a visual for that. You know what I mean? Ah, I feel that. School, I'm glad that you are mature enough to be like, no, I got to take care of my schoolwork, because I was not that type of person. I was a poor student, not because I couldn't understand what was being taught, but because I just was not paying attention. I was not motivated to be there. I've had this conversation with my parents a number of times where, had it not been for sports and had sports not required me to keep a certain grade point average, a certain GPA, I probably would have dropped out of school. I hated school that much, which is funny because I love reading now. I love learning now, but within the I guess the confines of a school system, I don't know, man. I just hated it. I don't know, this idea that every student's supposed to learn the same just never made sense to me. Okay. Well, I mean, at least you're self-aware. Like, at least you are self-aware enough to be like, no, I struggle with school. I gotta work really, really hard. Because the cool thing is because of that maturity, you're gonna find success in life, probably no matter what. Like, bar something insane happening, right? You're gonna be able to find success in life because you have a work ethic, which is, oddly enough, kind of rare nowadays. So even if it's hard now, it's going to be worth it because you're putting in the time and the effort, and at the very least you're building the skill of like, yes, I may be bad at this, but if I work hard enough at it and I'm diligent with my time and I am what's the word I'm looking for? I am very efficient with my time. That's not the right word, but it's similar to that. You're going to be able to find success. Because most people are like me and can be very, very lazy and will just get by doing the bare minimum. And it's a cheesy saying, but hold on, what's the hold on, let me think of this. Talent fails to be hard work beats talent when talent fails to work hard or something like that. It's something along those lines. Basically, like, talent is cool to have, but like your work ethic is more important. Thank you for being kind and understanding. Absolutely. Absolutely. One, I would never understand. I don't understand why we would. Why I don't know. I've never understood why people think it's cool to put someone down when they struggle at something, because we all struggle at something. That's number one. Number two, my brother was like that. My brother was one of the hardest workers when it came to studies, and he would always be like, dude, I wish I was like you, because for me, school came pretty easily. I was just really bored and hated being there. I was really lazy, and it always rubbed me the wrong way. It made me so mad, because I would look at him and be like, dude, you don't understand. You work so incredibly hard. That is a talent. That is a gift. Do not squander that. He would come home sometimes, and like some of his teachers would be like, I wish you were like your brother. That would infuriate me. Like, no, I don't want my brother to be like me. I want my brother to be my brother, because he has his own unique talents. He's amazing in his own way. He's very, very smart in his own way. School was just really hard for him for whatever reason. You know what I mean? And so, I don't know. I've never understood that. It would make me so mad when teachers would say that to him. I'd be like, nah, bro, you're good. Like, you don't need to be me. You continue being you. There's a lot of things that you're better than me at. I just happen to pick up on, like, I don't learn anything very well. I can memorize very well. Like, that's not a good talent to have. Because push comes to shove, years down the road, when someone asks a question or you need to be able to recall on some information because you learned it, I can't do that. I'm like, no, I memorized it for the test and I got it over with. Meteorologist, really? Wow. Meteorology is really cool. I know nothing about it, but it's fascinating. I stare at the sky pretty often. Before I started streaming, I pointed out to my wife, I was like, check out the clouds. Because it looked like there were like, we've had a lot of wind today. And so it looked like someone had like stretched out these clouds and kind of like painted it with a paintbrush across the sky. But you could tell where like wind had been pushing the clouds and kind of stretching them out. It looked really cool. I don't know what that means from a meteorology standpoint. But it looked really cool. And then we've had some really bad storms recently. And with quite a few tornadoes. And so if it weren't for the meteorologists and the Weather Channel, I could have easily been outside. Well, maybe not outside, but like have not taken, you know, the proper precautions, because we did have quite a few tornadoes in our area. So meteorologist, that's cool. I don't know what it takes to become a meteorologist, but I know it requires school, and I wish you the absolute best in your endeavors. Sounds like you have the work ethic to get there. Have you always been interested in like weather? Or is that something that recently kind of has come about? Do-do-do. I went to school in Oklahoma. That's where I played basketball, in Oklahoma, in a small college on the outskirts of Oklahoma City. So I know exactly. Well, I wasn't there during a lot of the bad weather seasons. I didn't get to see a lot of the really bad weather, but my wife graduated from. I didn't graduate from college, so. Oh, that's cool. Sick. I did enjoy my time in Oklahoma. I will put that. Like, Oklahoma City is an awesome city. I don't know where you live in Oklahoma, none of my business, but I loved Oklahoma City. It feels very similar to where I grew up. So, loved Oklahoma City while I was there. I'm not an Oklahoma City Thunder fan, but it's cool to see them in the finals again. But yeah, Oklahoma's a great state, in my opinion. Especially if you want a balance between like rural, kind of like small town living, or you can go to the city, like Oklahoma City, Tulsa even, and which I've never been to Tulsa, but I've heard it's an awesome city. But they're not like massive metros. They're not like Dallas or Houston, right? Where there's like a million plus people. But they're large enough where you're like, I don't feel like I'm in the country. You know what I mean? Oh. Yeah, okay, that makes a lot of sense. I'm sorry that your grandmother lost her house. I hope that she's been able to recover since then. When we had the tornadoes here a few weeks ago, one of the tornadoes, the biggest of the tornadoes that touched down was on track to hit my neighborhood and hit my house. Fortunately, the tornado lifted before it hit the city. And but I mean, also I don't know if it actually would have, because the storm basically, it was heading east and then it made like a sharp turn southeast, and so it probably would have missed my neighborhood anyways. But I do remember being like, oh dang, I'm like all my stuff may be gone. I may not have anything. My family, all their stuff may be gone. My kids' stuff may be gone. My wife's stuff. It's a very I don't know. It's storms like that, and really when I start looking at space and stuff, that I realize like how small we actually are, how small and insignificant we actually are. We are tiny pieces, tiny specks on a planet that is itty bitty in the middle of a universe that who knows how large it is. You know what I mean? And it's only getting bigger, from what we understand. She saved up and got a new house. That's awesome. I love that. I love that. I can't imagine what that's like to go through. We're tiny, and which then blows my mind. Like, we get so upset about, and I don't know, maybe this is a social media thing, but like, then you start looking at like this social media account numbers, and you're like, why don't I have this, or why don't I have that? Or you see someone on Instagram who is, you know, riding in a private jet, and you're upset because, or maybe not you, but me specifically, I'll get upset. I'm like, oh man, I don't have everything that I've ever wanted in my life. And it's like, dude, you are a tiny speck on a planet, and it's like you're one of 8 billion people. No one cares. Like, I've really tried to recently. I've been really trying to practice like gratitude. Like, I get to wake up in the morning and be a father. I get to wake up and be a husband. Like, there's a roof over my head. There's food in our fridge. I got clothes in my closet. I get to come outside and play Minecraft from time to time. I get to hang out with my kids during the day. Like, why am I crying about not being on a private jet? Like, boo-hoo, you big giant baby. Chances are, if I was in that position, I would find something else to cry about. You know what I mean? And it's like, if you spend 30 minutes outside and just walk around and like put your phone down and just look around, you'll recognize how beautiful the world is. Even if you're in the middle of a cement city or a cement world biome, if you're sitting in the middle of a major city, you'll just look around and you'll just be mind blown at like what humans are capable of. And I'm gonna sit here and complain about having, you know, not having $10 million in my bank account. Like, in my opinion, what a waste of my time and what a waste of my life. You know what I mean? Exactly. That's such a healthy mindset. One of my favorite sayings, like, people be like, hey, you know, how are you? I'm like, oh, I'm doing good. I woke up today. Like, there are people that aren't going to wake up tomorrow. I may not wake up tomorrow, as sad as that is, but that's real. And it's like, I don't know, if I don't wake up tomorrow, like, I want my family to know that I love them more than anything in the world, right? I want my wife to know that. I want my kids to know that. And I want them to know that, like, I am blessed to have the life that I have. I wouldn't trade it for anything. You know what I mean? And so and then so I'm gonna get online and like complain about what I don't have when it's like, dude, there are people that would literally die for what I have. They would give up anything to have what I have. You know what I mean? This got deep real fast. This is what happens when you play Minecraft at 11 o'clock at night. This is why normally I stream in the morning. I don't know, man. Life's too freaking short, in my opinion. I think as I've gotten older, like watching my parents get older, that has also like shined some light, shined the light. I don't know what the correct word is there. Light has been shinied on top of. I don't know what I'm saying. Point is, watching my parents like getting older has really opened my eyes to like how short life can be, I guess, but also how long it can be. Like, you know what I mean? Like 70 years or 60 years or 80 years or 100, that's a long time. But when you zoom out and you look at the age of the Earth, you're like, that's like a blip. You know what I mean? It is so sad because you grow up in this like with this idea that like the first 20 years of your life, basically, right? Your parents are your lifeline. They're basically your entire world. You don't live or function without them, practically. And then you get thrust out, you're thrown out into the real world, and you start having bills, and you have jobs, and you start creating your own life. Maybe you find a significant other, maybe you start your dream job, or whatever the case is. And then you look up one day, and like your parents are no longer running outside with you. Either because you moved away or because they physically cannot. And it's such a weird... You go from them raising you and taking care of you to recognizing that one day you're going to have to take care of them. And I don't know, I know there are people out there who like don't talk to their parents for whatever reason. And it's not my place to tell them what they should do. But like my goal is to be able to... Not only do I want to take care of my family, my wife, and my kids and make sure that they're set for life, because I do. I want to make sure that like in the latter years of my parents' life that they don't have to worry about anything. They don't have to worry about, you know, health care or whether or not they're going to get the medicine that they need if they need medicine, or that they're, you know what I mean? Like I want to make sure that they're taken care of. They don't have, I want to pay off their houses. Like, look, no, you guys don't have to, you don't have to worry about that anymore. I don't want my parents thinking like, oh, I got to work until I'm 75. You know what I mean? Yeah, I think that's a healthy place to be. The thing is, and this is a saying that I've heard a number of times when becoming a parent, and I think it applies to all aspects of life. It's only hard to be a parent if you're a good parent. Like it's easy to turn on the TV every day, because I've done that where I've turned on the TV because I'm tired. Like it's easy to do that and be like, here, watch some TV. I just need a break. It's hard to be like, on those days where you're that tired, to be like, no, we're not going to put you in front of a monitor. We're going to go play outside and we're going to have a good time. We're going to figure it out, right? The same applies to life. Like, life is only hard if you're diligent and you're trying to live life to the fullest. If you're responsible and you're taking care of your stuff, yeah, life is going to be difficult. And I think no matter what, I mean, life was going to be difficult no matter what, but you got to choose your hard. Right? Like I could be poor and that's hard. Being wealthy and rich, that's also hard because you have to make sacrifices and you have to work a lot. Like there's, you know what I mean? At least I hope that's making sense. Like all of it is going to be hard to some degree. You just got to choose what your hard's going to be. So, you know, the good thing is like when you start entering into like the workforce in the real world, generally speaking, you're gonna have some time to adjust, right? That's one of the reasons why you start going to university. You go to college, it's like one of the first times you're on your own, but it's in an environment that is a little bit easier to deal with, right? Like you're learning how to be more responsible with your time by still going to school. You're hopefully maybe going to get an internship. But yes, you're right. It is scary. I'm not gonna lie there. It is scary, but you seem like a young guy who has a good head on their shoulders, who is not naive enough to think that the world's going to be handed to them. You're cautious enough to be like, no, like I should be scared of this stuff, which is going to make sure that you're doing what you need to. You know what I mean? You're gonna be fine. You're gonna have hard times. Just as long as you're aware of that, like things are gonna get hard at some point. But one of my favorite sayings is like when the moon reaches the highest point in the sky is when the sun begins to rise. Meaning, yeah, this may be a dark time, but like there's light at the end of that. You know what I mean? You're gonna be okay. You're gonna make it through. But also, I will also say this: protect your inner circle. Make sure you surround yourself with good people. And as hard as it may be, if you find someone that isn't like you quit like it. How do I say this without sounding like a jerk? There may not be a way of saying this without sounding like a jerk. If someone's is not good for you, then be willing to cut them out of your life, is what I'll say. It sucks, it's hard, but always, always, always protect your peace. And make sure that you surround yourself with good people. Because you can end up in some really, really bad places. Not that I have. I've been very blessed with the people that are around me. But there have been some things that have come to light as I've gotten older about people that I was around in the past that I don't know what happened, but they went on to do some horrific things, and fortunately it was a phase, and I was able to relatively easily walk away from them. But yeah, man, protect your peace. Protect your peace at all costs. I also think it's important, like, if you can learn how to, like, not care about what other people think about you, that saves a lot of time. That's powerful. Stay away from that stuff. Like, I understand... I know people vape. I'm not mad at someone who vapes. I would never be mad at someone for vaping, because there's definitely worse things out there than that. But the fact that you, like I said earlier, like you're self-aware enough to be like, nah, this isn't good for me, I don't want to do this, and stepped away is awesome. There are people that can't do that. And won't do that. You know what I mean? They're like, oh no, but it's my best friend, or whatever the case is. And it's like, are they though? Are they your best friends? I don't know. Regret's such an interesting thing too. Like, I try not to live my life in regret, because like, I don't know, I think it's important to be able to to reflect on things. Like, to reflect on your past and on your history, and be like, okay, that was not good for me, I shouldn't have done that, or whatever the case is. But at the same time, you don't want to like fixate on it. You know what I mean? Ah, that's huge. Yeah, yeah, awesome for you. That is huge. That is so good. I'm really blessed that none of my friends really did that. Yeah, I don't think I've had any friend that has ended up in juvie or anything like that. Honestly, had it not been for sports, I probably would have been in a lot worse place in life. but I was so addicted to basketball and obsessed with basketball that it really did keep me from doing a lot of really stupid stuff. Because I have a pretty addictive nature, and so I do remember smoking my first cigarette in high school, which was really stupid to begin with because I had asthma growing up. I had like pneumonia-induced asthma, which means basically I got really sick, and because of that sickness, I started having asthma attacks and stuff, which I eventually grew out of, and which was a combination of like sports and working out, and then I think just also growing up and my lungs getting stronger. But so there was that combination, and then there was the aspect of like I that night I remember getting drunk for the first time, and I was like a freshman in high school. Do not recommend. Terrible decision. But after that, I had an asthma attack the following day. It was really, really bad, obviously. And I remember thinking to myself, I was like, one, I can't breathe. This sucks. And then two, I was like, I want to play college sports. I was like, I can't be going around drinking and stuff. So wow. Okay. I mean, that makes sense. But you eventually said no. That is incredible. I don't know. I don't know if I could say that I would have done the same. I would like to believe that I would have, but I genuinely don't know if I can say I would have done the same. And so that is absolutely typical. Good for you. And now you're studying to be a meteorologist, which is sick. The future is bright. The future is bright for you. You keep that same mentality. You keep looking after yourself and those that you care about. You're going to do just fine. No matter what life throws at you. You may even do better than that, you know what I mean? And someday you're going to be able to have a testimony, a story that you can share with future generations. So maybe that's your kids. Maybe that's just, just other youth. You're going to be like, hey guys, this is where I was. I've been there. And I had to make a really hard decision, and look at the life I live now. Like, it wasn't because I was born into something crazy. Like, I have great parents, but it wasn't because I was born into money or this, that, and the other. I worked really hard. I studied really hard. And because of that, when opportunities presented themselves, I took full advantage of it, and look at where I'm at. You can do the same, I imagine it wasn't. Between probably there being some level of enjoyment, and then also having, influences from friends at the time. Peer pressure is a son of a gun. Peer pressure is one of the reasons I did, like the reason I got drunk, and the reason obviously there's a part of me that wanted to do it. But also my friends at the time were doing it. So I was like, let me try it. And I did. So peer pressure is strong. I don't care what anyone says. It is also hard to see your mom break down. Also, my mom found out that I got drunk that night and smoked. And she was like, my mom was amazing in this situation. One, she didn't tell my dad because my dad would have he probably would have knocked me silly. No, I can tell you for a fact he would have. But she didn't tell my father, which I am thankful to this day. But two, she was very calm about it. She didn't lose her mind. She was like, okay, I'm letting you know I'm disappointed that you did this. I'm also going to let you know if you ever do anything like that again, one, I'm letting your father know. And two, you're not going to be able to do any of the stuff that you enjoy doing. And that was the last time I drank or smoked anything until I was much, much older. Much, much older. You've never drank? I don't think drinking is inherently bad. Obviously, I don't think you should be doing it if you're a youth. It's just stupid, in my opinion. Smoking and vaping is probably just not smart in general. But again, I'm like plenty of people do it. But I think it again, if you're a youth, it's probably not in your best interest to smoke and drink. You know, there's a reason that there are legal age limits on it and whatnot, and so. Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, absolutely. I definitely don't recommend doing it. Not good for you or anybody near you. It's just not. It's just not good. Not good at all. I will be right back. I have to use the restroom, and I have some leftovers from dinner. I'm gonna grab that really quick. So I'll be right back. Uh, Hold on. Let me do this. Be right back. Y'all enjoy the music. I'll see you in like 5 minutes. Let me go grab it. Okay. I'm back. I'm gonna finish eating though. I have a little bit of a burger left. And some french fries. It's really good. Not that you asked or anything, but it's yummy. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Hold up. I can't see chat at the moment. That's good stuff. Yeah. Outback is pretty good, not gonna lie to you. Get steak and cheesecake as dessert for dinner. I love cheesecake. That is probably my favorite dessert. Yeah. No, it is. That's my favorite dessert. I love it. I had Outback. That's where I took my. I didn't take my dad, but that's where we took my dad, or where we went and had dinner with my dad. Was Outback, and they had cheesecake, but I was too full. I didn't want to buy any. Oh yeah, super underrated. Absolutely. Hmm. All right. Ah. Nothing like finding your pots for a, for a slice of cheesecake. That's hilarious. All right. Let's get back to this. What were we doing? This is what we're doing. That's right. I don't think my dad likes cheesecake. My dad doesn't really like sweets. I kid you not. I can probably count on two hands how many times I've seen my dad eat something sweet. He just doesn't eat sweets, like at all. I definitely get my sweet tooth from my mom. She has a strong sweet tooth. So, there's that. Really? That's interesting. I mean, I can understand why cheesecake slaps. That makes sense to me. But also kind of crazy. I don't think I've ever heard that. Really? You don't really like other shit? I love all kinds of sweets. It's a problem. I love candy. I love chocolate. Well, actually that's a lie. I don't really like cake. Cheesecake doesn't feel like cake to me. But like, I don't know, normal birthday cake stuff, I'm not a big fan of cake. I don't know why. I don't know. I think the taste usually is like kind of meh. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's how I feel. I'm getting a text. 1 second. Um. Wait, I have kids? Yep, I do. I do have kids. And I wouldn't trade being a dad for anything. It's the greatest. I love being a father. It's hard sometimes. But I wouldn't trade it for anything. One second here. Yep, I'm 31. I'm ancient. I'm not ancient, but I'm older than most people think. Everyone that asks me my age is like, "Oh, you sounded like you're 19 or 17 or 23 or something." Like, no, I was a long time ago, not anymore. I am 31. It's kind of interesting because I've always thought 30 was like when you started like getting like that's when you're like old. And not that I feel young. I don't feel like 20 anymore or anything like that, but you realize that like that's the first time when I turned 30 was the first time I realized that like, oh, I like in order for me to be my dad's age, I'd have to live my entire life again. And that's a really weird thought. Your mom is 33? Oh my gosh. That's crazy. I sound like I'm 26. I'll take 26. I'm fine with 26. Nope, 31, and I have young kids. I don't have a 14-year-old. That is crazy. Your mom was young when she had you. Wow, good for her. I don't know what to say to that. Because I was still I explain this to people because I know I have some friends that had not friends, but people that I went to school with that had kids when they were really young. Like 19, 20, 21, 22, right? And I put it like this. From a like living life, getting used to the world, experiencing what life was like without my parents, I felt like I was learning how to tie my shoes. The thought of having a kid at 20 years old or 22 years old was such a foreign idea to me. You have a strong mom. I don't know her background. I don't need to know her background, but you have a strong trooper of a mom. That is you're not gonna understand how hard it is. Like how incredible that is. That is insane. You cherish that woman, you understand me? I definitely sound like a parent right then and there. But you cherish that woman. I tell my son to always to protect his mom. We cherish my wife around here. Right? So you cherish that woman. I don't know what she had to go through, but having a child at 19 is no easy feat. That is an incredibly difficult thing to do. Golly, I can't. At 19, I think I had opened up my first credit card and made really dumb decisions with that. Like really, 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 really stupid decisions. Exactly what your dad tells you. Good. Your dad's right. Your dad is right. You cherish that woman. Because at 19 years old, I mean, you're 14 now, so in 5 years, you're going to do a lot of growing. I get that. But also, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I don't know, most people, maybe not most people, I'm speaking for myself. I felt like such a kid at 19. I felt like a little kid at 19. I was like, oh, I'm on my own. I'm in college, blah, 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 blah. And then I looked at my bank account and was like, calling my mom, like, Mom, can you send me ramen noodles? I can't afford food. Like, I'm a kid. And she was like, yeah, I got you. Oh, wow. Yeah, being a truck driver is not easy for a lot of reasons. But one of the main reasons, because in order to make money, you got to drive, which means you're not at home. Gotta tip my hat to your parents. No matter how hard life could have been, may have been, wasn't. I'm glad to hear that they were providing in the best way that they knew how. I think that's one of the weirdest things about becoming a parent. And if you ever have kids, you'll understand when that happens. But like, you realize that your parents, one of the weirdest things that you realize when you become a parent is that your parents didn't know what they were doing. I don't know if you're the oldest child. I'm the oldest of my siblings. And so realizing that I was like a trial run with my parents is a very weird feeling. Like, oh, mom, dad, you guys actually did not know what you were doing when you had me. That's kind of terrifying. You were just like winging it. You're like, I know that I got to feed him. I know I got to change him. I hope he does all right. You know? Like anytime I got mad at my parents, it was like, this was even today, like when I turn 32, it will be the first time that my parents have ever had a 32-year-old. And so what does that dynamic look like? You know what I mean? I'm a trial run for the rest of my life. I will be a trial run. I will be an experiment for my parents. That is so heartwarming. Aww. I know that early on that must have been hard. I know that must have been hard. I'm sure it was hard on you, but I can't imagine how hard it was on your parents, because I think about my kids and like, you know, my wife works really, really hard and has gone above and beyond in terms of providing for us as a whole. We both have made sacrifices in different ways to help provide for our kids. And that's part of being a parent, and it's part of becoming a parent. But also, as a parent, when you start thinking about your kids and their futures, and the amount of guilt that you can feel when you act a certain way or say something or do something or don't do something, it can weigh really, really heavy. And so I can't imagine what your parents must have felt like during that time, having, you know, you as their child and trying to figure out, you know, how do I provide for this child? So I'm glad to hear that you guys are in I don't know if it's a much better place. I don't know if where you were initially was a bad place, but being in a place that you guys feel is home and having your own space, I imagine is a fantastic feeling. And I'm glad to hear that is a reality for you guys. It's awesome to hear. I had these. This has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but I just had the sudden urge to go to a lake, which is weird because I don't like large bodies of water. But there's something about being on a lake that is just awesome. Anyways. Yeah, I would have to agree with that. They were very young. Did I start mining this? Oh, I did, because that other one I thought was that one. I think it was that one I just finished. I'm so confused. Anyways. I can't stand, I don't like if it's super clear water, then I would probably be better, like I'd feel better about it, but I can't stand looking down and it just being murky and not being able to see anything. And then I've gone snorkeling in where was I? I don't know if I was in the Pacific Ocean or if I was in the Gulf of Mexico, because I went on a mission trip in Central America when I was in middle school. And we basically got on a tiny boat and drove into the middle of the ocean like an hour, 2 hours from mainland Belize. But I can't remember if we went east or west. I was too young to really know my cardinal directions like that. I don't know if I was in the Gulf of Mexico or if I was in the Pacific Ocean. Either way, I just remember going snorkeling and like the current kind of pushed me out to sea a little bit away from the island that we were snorkeling from. And one, which if you ever go, so don't ever do that. Don't be stupid like me. I didn't think about currents and how strong the action can be, so I just kind of let my body float. And the water started getting super dark blue, and I was like, I don't know what's beneath me. I'm terrified, so I swam back to the island. But yeah, not fun. Not a good idea. For someone who's terrified of the ocean, I was being really stupid. Also, there's a barracuda in the water with us, which, by the way, are barracudas come off as they look really, really mean. But as long as you don't mess with them, they're kind of like a bee or a wasp. As long as you don't mess with them, they don't tend to mess with you. But they're also super territorial. But anyways, good experience. But yeah, I don't like the ocean. If I was meant to be in a large body of water, I'd have fins and a gill. Or gills, excuse me, and I don't. I don't have webbed feet. I don't have gills. I'm a strong swimmer, but I don't want to have to swim, you know. So I've heard horror stories of undercurrents, and yeah, nah, bro. Yeah, not for me. Like I've always hated when like you would like get lessons, like if you go to the beach. I used to go to church camp as a kid, and one of the camps was in South Padre Island, and they would give you like this little talk about what would happen if you got sucked in by an undercurrent. And they're like, you have to understand that the undercurrent goes straight out into the ocean, so you need to like lay on your back and like swim sideways, or not lay on your back, but swim sideways with the beach, and you'll get out of the undercurrent. And they're like, you just need to watch out for them. And I just remember as a kid going into that church camp being like, so you want me to look out for something that I can't see? And I'd be like, I need you to make this make sense to me, because that doesn't make any sense. And then also, I went to a different church camp in middle school in Colorado, and we went whitewater rafting. And they tell you if you fall in, if you go overboard, which I don't know if it's really called overboard in whitewater rafting, but if you fall out of the raft, you're supposed to float on your back with your feet facing downriver, because there's boulders and stuff that you're going to be hitting, and then you need to like swim sideways basically towards the shore. And we hit this massive boulder, and I was on the left side of the raft, and there was a kid on the right. Well, we tipped over on the left side, so the kid on the right fell down the raft onto me. I don't know if you've ever been whitewater rafting. I didn't know how fast this water was moving. I couldn't, like, you can't tell when you're inside the raft. That water is flying. So like I fall into the water, and when I come back up and out of the water, I'm like, I kid you not, I'm like 25 yards away from this raft. And I was like, it happened in like a blink. It happened like in a blink. You know what I mean? Like in a second. I wasn't underwater for like 10 seconds or 15. It was like I fell into the water, came straight back up, and I was gone. Fortunately, I'd paid attention during that lesson and had a life jacket on and swam over to the shore. But I got beat up by the boulders. It was freezing cold. And then I had to get back in the raft and finish the little trip. And then I was so terrified, but I was like screaming and stuff like I was having fun, trying to amp myself up, to pretending, because I was like traumatized from this. Not fun. Do I know what Mike and Ike's are? Absolutely. Are Mike and Ike's really good? Are they really good to me? I put them, I don't know if I would say they're really, really, like, really good, but I enjoy them. They're like dots to me. I enjoy dots. I don't think they're the greatest candy, but there's something about them that I enjoy. I think it's the texture of it. So I like the texture of Mike and Ike's. I don't think it's the most flavorful thing, but I don't think they're horrible. I would say Mike and Ike's taste better than Dots, though. Actually, quite a bit better than Dots. Mike and Ike's are pretty good. Maybe I would. I don't know. But I haven't had them in, like, I don't go out of my way to have Mike and Ike's, so I'm not sure. You know what I mean? They're the only candy you like? Really? I find that to be fascinating. I am such a candy guy. I'm trying to think of candies I don't like. I don't like candy corn. That stuff is trash. Candy corns are horrible in my opinion. Maybe not horrible, but like, I'll eat a couple and I'm like, But I will say candy corn is better than black licorice. But there are times where I've eaten black licorice and I'm like, it's not that bad. Dude, I have problems, is what I'm learning. I think I'm broken. I think my taste buds are broken. What? What? No way. No, let's see. I will eat. Yeah, nah. All of those are S tier to me. Maybe not the Airheads. Airheads could be like a B tier. Yeah. But everything else? No, everything else on that is S tier in my opinion. I get down on all those. They're so S tier in my opinion that I actively have to like not eat them. I gotta actively just be like, nah, I can't be near this stuff because I'll eat them all. Like today, prime example. This has nothing to do with candy, but it does have to do with sweets. At church today, they had donuts for Father's Day. I ate like 5 donuts. I had breakfast before I showed up to church. There was no reason for me to eat donuts. But they were there, and they're from a donut shop that makes really, like, thick, fluffy donuts. I don't know how to... They make fluffy donuts. And they are freaking delicious. And I had, like, 5, and I don't care. You hate sour Skittles! Oh! I love sour stuff. I love sour Skittles. People judge you for that. Would I judge you for that? Maybe? I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I guess it depends. If you had sour Skittles and you were willing to give them to me, I'd probably be like, I bet. This is the go-to. I'd be like, that guy doesn't like... that guy. That sounds hilarious. Anyways, that guy doesn't like sour Skittles, so... Anytime you get sour Skittles, I would be like, nah, I'm gonna go ahead and need those. I'll trade you for whatever it is you want. If you want these Mike and Ike's, I'll trade you. You love the sour Mike and Ike's? Do I? Have I ever had those? I don't know if I've ever had those. I've seen them, but I don't think I've ever had them. Maybe? I don't know. But I would like to say that I wouldn't judge you, but if I'm being real with myself, there might be some judgment. But if we work out some kind of like bartering deal there, I might let it slide. I'm like, it's alright. And then people would be like, but it's contractual. It's based off of it. I'm like, you're right. I'm not judging because he's getting the Mike and Ike's, and I'm getting the sour Skittles. We're mutually benefiting here. But if you threw some sour Skittles away, and in the presence of moi, there would be a problem. I'd be like, ain't no way you're throwing sour Skittles away. We're not gonna do that. We're not doing that. Not on my watch. I'd be diving in that trash can like Batman. I don't know why Batman, but sour Skittles for Mike and Ike, absolutely. I'd trade that in a heartbeat, quick. It wouldn't even be a thought. I wouldn't even have to think about it. They'd be like, Splunky, you want some sour Skittles? Huh? Yes. What do you... Don't even ask me that. Don't disrespect me and ask me that question. You know I want them. I want them all. This isn't a game. This isn't a game. Don't play with me. Quick. I love sour Skittles. To the point that like I will eat them until the little like sour tongue like sharp pain thing happens. I'll do that. Sour Skittles, I have a problem with sour Skittles, and I'm not afraid to admit it. All right? That's just how I operate. Other people are into eating, I don't know, Hershey's chocolate bars. I love sour Skittles. What can I say? I will also eat that Hershey's chocolate bar though. I will get down on a Hershey's chocolate bar. You know what I love, but also sometimes I'm like, it's not that good? A s'more. No, it's a lie. S'mores are basically always good. Unless it's a s'more Pop-Tart. If you like s'more Pop-Tarts, this stuff is garbage. You hate chocolate, dog. Oh, no you don't. No. No. Why? I need to understand this. I don't think I'm going to understand it, but I'm going to give you an opportunity to explain yourself. How do you hate chocolate? How does that even work? I don't get... What? But how? I can understand dark chocolate maybe. But milk chocolate? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. You have really weird taste buds? I'm learning this. You hate s'mores? Man. What do you do at a campfire? You just stare at the fire the entire time? You just like everybody's over there snacking on graham crackers, chocolate, and marshmallows, and you're just staring at the fire? Guy, that is such a sad story. Ah, nah, bro. What do you eat? How are you alive? Oh no. How? How do you even camp? I've never been camping, but I couldn't go camping without graham crackers, marshmallows, and chocolate. I don't. Dad, just thinking about your life? Dang, dude. I mean, I'm trying to. What would I? Huh? I don't even know how to respond to that. You go camp. Wait a second. You go camping a lot. I've never. I don't think I've ever been camping. No, I've never been camping. Like, truly camping. My friend went to go camp for his birthday. I'm doing a little quotations in the air. But we went and camped at basically in the city. But in the city there was this massive plot of land that his friend had bought. And so it has like a little, I wouldn't say it's like a creek that runs through it. There's some trees and stuff, but you're still in the city. So yeah, I don't know. We spent the night there. And I slept in a tent that was, it said that it was big enough for 2 people, but I'm 6'4", and I had to sleep diagonally in it, and like even then I was like lifting the tent up. Also, it was the middle of spring, and so it was like 80 degrees outside during the day, but then it dropped to like 50 at night. I'd never gone camping, so I had like shorts and a t-shirt on. I was so cold. It was one of the most miserable things I've ever done, but also one of the coolest things I've ever done. That's cool. Yeah, no, like my mother used to go camping a lot as a kid, but she just never took us. My dad, I don't think my dad's ever been camping, so I wouldn't know because I've never asked, so I should probably ask him. That would be a good idea. Ask my father if he's ever been camping before I start telling people. Yeah, my dad's never done this. I mean, just never. I can't speak for him. I don't know. Coyotes sound scary. I mean, I'm sure they are actually super scary, but in my mind, they sound way more scary than they actually are. Like, their howls at night, or like, I guess it's because it's not a howl, it's like a cackle, and they're like laughing. It is the most creepy sound ever. I've only heard it once, and honestly, if I never hear it again, I wouldn't be too, I wouldn't be too sad about that. But that's the other thing about camping. I don't know if I'm built for that. I don't know if I'm built for like a coyote walking up to my tent and like snooping around. I don't have a license to carry a gun or anything like that. It's something that I want to get just because I think it would be, I want to be trained on that. But now you come snooping around my luggage and stuff, my camp at the wrong time of night when I'm delirious and not understand, like, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? You see where I'm heading with this? I don't want to hurt a coyote. But I also don't want you snooping through my tent. You know, like nothing, like acting like nothing's gonna happen because something might happen. You feel me? That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. Don't put your nose in my tent. Don't try and grab my food, because I'll choke a coyote out. That sounds so stupid. I can't even keep a straight face. I'm being dumb. I'm just being dumb. But you get what I'm saying? Exactly. Wolves, I think, are dope. I think wolves are an incredible creature. They're one of my favorites. My two favorite animals on the planet are a snow leopard and a wolf. Dolphins used to be one of my favorite. I still think dolphins are pretty cool, but I do get what you're saying. Yeah. But snow leopards and wolves are like my favorite animals. And it's not even close. I think wolves are so cool just because they're just cool. Cats and raccoons. Now that is a fascinating. I can see cats, but why raccoons? What is it about a raccoon? Raccoons are just freaking hilarious. They're some of my favorite, like my favorite clips that I've seen on like TikTok or Instagram or shorts have involved a raccoon. Just doing raccoon stuffs like getting caught outside in the trash and then freezing like you can't see it. I find that to be freaking hilarious. That is just funny. Really cool, they're like robbers. That's so true. I love that. That's hilarious. They do have a cool coat, don't they? Do you have a lot of raccoons in your area? I've probably seen... I don't know if we have any raccoons in my area. I know we have possums. I don't like possums. They're kind of ugly. I need to know if I have raccoons. Hold on. Oh, we do have raccoons here. I've probably seen one or two. But I don't see them very often. Like, at all. Possums give you the creeps? Same here. Possums are freaking weird. I don't know why I don't like them, but they're like... I don't know, they're way bigger than I thought they would be. And then they have that long, gross tail. I don't know, they kind of gross me out. I'm not going to mess with them or anything, you know what I mean? And I'm pretty sure that possums hiss. I'm pretty sure they hiss. Maybe I'm confusing that with a raccoon, but I think possums hiss. Let me see this. Hold on. Yeah, they do hiss. Oh, look at them. They're ugly. That's right. They do hiss. Ah, nah. Nah. Nope. Not my porch. Gonna get evicted quick. You knocked on the wrong door, Possum. You gotta go find a bush. Not here. Not with me. And I don't have like a super nice porch, but you gotta find somewhere else. I mean, I can understand why you had a heart attack. That nasty little vampire hair thing. It's a hairy vampire is what it is. And then it hisses at you like you're the ugly one. You're like, no, brother, look at you. Look at you. You look like a overgrown rat. Ew. Why would you have a possum for a pet? No thanks. Maybe they're great pets. Maybe they are. I don't know. Anteaters. Ooh. Anteaters are kind of cool. I haven't seen many of those. Granted, I don't live near anteaters. There's that, but... Alright, let's take a look at this. Honestly, that's kind of crazy looking. Can I land on this? Hold up. Whoops. Wow, that looks so crazy not having the pillars there. Not gonna lie. It was his comfort animal? Nah, you can miss me with that. No way. Nope. No. I mean, I'm glad that he had an animal that was comforting. To him. But there's just no, that's not, no. No, what? No. No! Absolutely not. Disgusting. Disgusting. I like where these pillars are. But I think I'm gonna like it more once the island is gone. I think. But I do feel like we're making good time on this whole deleting the pillars thing. Wildcrats? My son loves Wildcrats. I love that show too, by the way. Ah, okay. Okay, I see. I don't want this trash. Get this out of my lap. If you... Okay. All right. We're gonna do a little bit more mining. I think I'm gonna take off another layer or two. Let's see. How far until we're at... Yeah, I don't know. We'll do another layer or two. And that may be the end of the stream, because I gotta get up early. Okay, it's not early, but I do gotta get up to get my son to PDO. So... But yeah, my son watches Wildcrats all the time. Well, not all the time, but he does watch Wildcrats. Yeah. That was from a pillar. It was from that pillar there. Right now, I'm just getting it all down to Y level 60, because that means that there's probably 50 more layers that I have to get rid of. I mean, I don't know how far down. Well, no, that means there's 60 more layers that I have to get rid of. So we're going to get them all to Y level 60. And then I'm just going to wait to see if I want to get them all the way down. If I want to delete them entirely, or if I want to somehow add it into the build. I haven't quite decided yet. So at the very least, I want to get rid of these pieces of bedrock. That will be, I mean, it's not easy. I wouldn't say it was easy, but it's definitely doable versus like getting rid of the bedrock on top of the ingates. But if I have all these at Y level 60, then I might be able to incorporate them into the build. I just haven't decided yet. I have no clue. You know what I mean? I don't know what I'm gonna do. It's all just kind of sitting in my head. Yeah, let me finish this layer and then I'll explain to you what I'm trying to build. Hopefully I can give you an idea of what the vision looks like. I want to know this. Do the beacon lights go through the portals? Because it keeps popping up that little blue, or I mean that little purple beam. So I really want to know if like the portal, like if the beacons go through the portals. Because if so, then I'm going to build a bunch of beacons down there on the floor that go through the bottom of the portal. They do? Sick. Alright, then we're definitely going to be building a bunch of portals. Or, I mean beacons for the portals. Yeah, what I'm building is huge. It's massive. Which is why I've been, like, my whole goal for the next video is going to be just getting rid of the end island and finishing the floor of the place. But, alright, let me show you what we're working with here. We'll turn this all the way up as well. We're going to fly over here to the Enderman farm really quick and I can kind of show you. Okay, so obviously I have this floor in place. I'm going to get rid of the entire island. And then what I want to build is a massive planet that is exploding. And I want it to be being shot. Like I want to build a spaceship that is shooting that planet. Not through it like to the other side, just like from the bottom of it through the top. Just if the beam goes up, because if it just goes up, then I want to change the colors. That's it. But not like teleport to wherever the end gate takes me. No, not like that. But what I was saying, this giant square is going to be like, So I said there's going to be a planet, there's going to be a spaceship. Then I want to put up walls of glass, and I want this to look like a... You know, like when you buy like an action figure and you put it into a glass box? I want it to look like that. So you're going to be able to leave this box and fly around it. It's going to be glass, and it's going to look like you're looking at like an action figure scene of a spaceship that is blowing up a planet. But in that spaceship, there's going to be an alien, and that alien is going to be Optic Allen, who is like a mascot for Optic Gaming. And then on the floor here, you see that I'm putting white carpet down. I'm going to put black and green carpet on top of this white, and it's going to spell out Optic Gaming and have their logo. And it's going to float a little bit. That's kind of the idea I have. I don't know. It's a monument and a thank you to like Optic Gaming because they got me into content creation. And they're the only gaming organization. If I ever had the opportunity to join a gaming organization, they would be the only ones that I would join. So, but the next video is probably going to be me getting rid of this island and the pillars and just finishing the floor. I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to mine these all the way out because I need to finish the floor. But it's going to be the whole process going from starting this whole project, like collecting the slime, to like getting the floor all the way done. Or at least get all the white carpet on the floor. I'm having to break this project. I'm probably going to be working on this for the next year. If not longer, I imagine. Because I've already been working on it. When did my last video come out? March? I think... let's see. Yeah, I published it March 21st. So almost 3 months ago. Stan, what's up? What am I working on? I am getting rid of this end island. I'm actually mining out the pillars at the moment in preparation to start my mega build here. So we are currently collecting all the mining out all the pillars, which has been a tedious, boring process. Not sure if you've ever done it, but if you haven't, I can tell you, not as fun as it looks. So yeah, it came out 2 months ago, almost 3. It'll be 3 on the 21st, whenever that day is. So that's like what, Saturday? I think. Yeah, almost 3 months ago. But yeah, that's what I've been doing. That's what my plan is for this area. Who knows if that's actually going to happen. But I sure hope so. No, I haven't. It would take so long. Yes, yeah. No, you're right. Good. You see, what I'm learning here is that you are wise beyond your... I don't know how old you are, but you are wise, okay? You are smarter than me. Because I've started this process, and since I've started it, I now have to finish it. And I really, 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 really don't want to. But I almost don't have a choice if I want to build what I want to build here, so... I could try and incorporate it, but I don't think it's going to work, so we're just going to have to mine it all out. There's no faster way to do this? Nope. From everything that I've seen, the fastest way of doing it is mining it out. I mean, there might be, there might be some kind of wither tech that you could do, but I just got done placing 263,000 blocks of slime. And if I spawn a wither in this place and it blows up any part of that floor, I may never play Minecraft again. So. How do you not get bored after a while? My longest world was like 3,000 days. I got bored because I built the base of my dreams and a bunch of farms and I got bored. How do you not get bored? Well, one, I haven't even been in this world 3,000 days, so there's that. You're in your world longer than I've been in this one. I don't know. I think making content on it, being on YouTube kind of helps. And I don't know. I make sure that I have different projects. I have so many projects floating around in my head, it's not even funny. I have a mega base for like a guardian farm, like that would incorporate a guardian farm. I have a mega base for the actual end portal to get to the end. I clearly have a mega base for this place. I have a mega base for the nether that I want to do. And then I also, like, one of my goals with this world, the builds that I'm doing aren't just builds that I think are cool. They're part of like my vision board. So things that I want to accomplish in real life. And so like this one is like, this build that I'm doing here is going to be Optic Gaming themed because I've always wanted to join Optic Gaming and that's a goal of mine. And so I think in that regard, I don't get bored because I'm like building out the goals that I have in real life in a game that allows me to make content on it. Does that make any sense? I hope that makes some kind of sense. But also, I don't, like, if I don't want to play Minecraft, I don't play. I'm not gonna force myself to do something. Like, I want Minecraft to be fun. And so if I find that I'm getting burnt out on Minecraft, I'm not gonna play. It doesn't matter how many people ask me for a video or like when the video is coming out or this, that, and the other. If I'm not enjoying the game, I just don't play until I'm ready to play again. And so I take enough breaks periodically, like often enough, that I don't ever really get that bored. Like, oh, I didn't play for like 3 or 4 days, let me go play again. Versus other content creators I've heard, they're like, yeah, I got burnt out. And when you look at their track record, they've played every day for like 4 years. And it's like, yeah, no wonder you're bored playing the game. You don't do anything else. Go outside, go touch grass. Go walk at a mall or something. I don't know. Go do something other than stare at your monitor. You know? I don't know. That's just me, though. I guess that's how I do it. It's not the most efficient way. You know, I don't get content pumped out all the time, but also I want to be able to look back at my YouTube channel and be proud of the work that I do. I don't want to make content just to make content, or just to make money, or just to say that I have a large YouTube channel. I don't care if I have, like, obviously if I had 1 million subscribers or something like that, I'd be proud of that. But I didn't start making content because I wanted 1 million subscribers. I started making content because I've always been fascinated in the idea of making content. So I don't know. I love doing it. What can I say? Yeah, I don't know. I've always been really, really good about... See, my problem has always been that I'm really good at coming up with ideas. I'm really, really bad about the execution on those ideas, or I'm really, really bad at, like, I won't write my ideas down. So I have, if I go into my notes pad on my phone, I probably have different ideas, not just Minecraft related videos, just video. I probably have 150 different video ideas. And that was me sitting down for 10 minutes just coming up with random stuff. And so, I don't know, I've never really had problems with coming up with ideas. It's like executing on those. Your live is a little over 3 hours old. How are you not tired of seeing the end? Oh, I'm tired of seeing this place. But when you're live and you have someone to talk to, it makes it a whole lot easier. Oh yeah, I've been in this end probably, yeah, somewhere close to 100 hours. I mean, I can just show you the... Sam, is this your first time here? I don't know if you've ever seen any of my other stuff. But I'm not going to replace that. I almost replaced that obsidian block. But yeah, I'm sick of this place. Look at everything that I've placed. I placed all of this. You know how long this took me? Do you understand how long it took me to place all this? This disgusting green? This took a disturbing amount of time. Okay, just a grotesque amount of time. We're gonna pick this up, by the way. Do I have another silk touch? These are also, right? Yes. Yeah, it did take a long time to collect it, but let's just go look. The reason I'm in the end is because I was tired of looking at the overworld, because I spent, I don't know how long in the overworld, 200 hours, 300 hours. Let's sleep really quick. All right, let's let the world load in really quick. Load. But I spent like 60 hours staring at this little thing, which was not fun, okay? At all. Nothing about that was fun. I built more farms than I will probably ever need or ever use. Oh, this is cool. This might be my favorite farm to date. Carpet dupers are amazing. I got a trading hall over here. Right, like, I got this beast of a build of a mega base that's coming along that I'm not done with, but I got tired of looking at this, and so that's why I'm in the end. I spent, I don't know, 200 or 300 hours in this area alone. So yeah, looking at the end for 100 hours or for 3 hours is not that bad in comparison to how long I stared at this dumb thing, which is cool. Don't get me wrong. It shocks you how I did all this? Yeah, I mean, I don't know, if you take it into bite-sized chunks and you're like, if you work a couple hours a day, yeah, it takes a long time, but it adds up, I guess. So, yeah, this took forever. This was not fun to stare at for a while, but now that it's done, it's moments like this, because I can come down here and look at this and I'm like, okay, it was totally worth it. Totally worth it. So, I don't know, this is how I can stare at the end for so long, because I don't know, You do something like this and you're like, wow, my vision, is that a torch? Ew. I don't know why I put that up there. I'm sure it's because this hasn't grown. I have this one really long one. Anyways, your eyes hurt. No, not really, but I also don't sit very close to my monitors. I have like probably 2 feet between my eye, like my face and my monitors. I kind of sit back when I play so that my eyes don't begin to hurt. You know what I don't get tired of looking at? This. I love the way this looks. But anyways. It is currently 12:30 at night. I am actually getting sleepy. And my wife just texted me. My son just had an accident. He peed out while sleeping, so I gotta go help her clean him up and change his sheets and stuff. So thank you guys for watching. I had a blast. I know it was electrifying content by mining out obsidian pillars, but your series is just impressive in my opinion. Thank you, that guy. I appreciate that, man. I'm excited for the future of this world. I don't know what it's gonna look like. I genuinely have no clue, but I have some ideas, and I'm stoked about the future of it. So I can't wait to show that to you guys as I complete new builds and take on new challenges. So, but yeah, I'm out of here. You guys have a great night. Sleep well, or whatever it is you do. Don't sleep. It's summer. Do you. I'm out of here. Bye, guys.